Hey there, YouTube viewers. Did you know that I have a podcast? Well, this is it. This is the podcast. It's got its own page. You can go follow it wherever you'd like. I'm going to start posting the podcast here on youtube.com/@JakeTwitchin. As always, if you want to find it easily, just search GameList in your favorite podcast feed. You can go ahead and go to youtube.com/@GameListShow. But the easiest way to find anything Jake Twitchin related is just go to amazingstreamer.com. It's easy. I've made it so simple. Host the show with my buddy Colin. He and I basically just argue about video games all the time. This is our Game of the Year discussion. It's got a bunch of back and forth, a lot of witty banter, as you've come to enjoy on this channel. Hello, Richard. You love the podcast. Tell them how much you like. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to post this here, give you a little preview. You can expect to see these and maybe a little preamble like this before each episode that I post here on YouTube. It's once a month, low obligation. I think you'll enjoy it. Take a look, click some links below. Hello, everybody, and welcome to your final episode of GameList for 2023 here in the early days of 2024. It's your boy, Jake. I don't know. I've never introduced myself as your boy.
It's your boy, Jake. And
it's your other
boy, Colleen. Yeah. Colin. No, I'm Colin on this pod.
Hey,
right?
Colleen. Yeah, you're Colleen underscore, baby.
We're both.
I'm Jake Twitchin. Hot start.
I like that. Yeah, that was good.
Everyone's ready to go. We're loosened up off the bat.
Yeah.
I feel good about it. So listen, let's do a little bit of table setting of what this episode is. If this is your first episode of GameList, it's an odd one. It's a good one to start with, but it's not representative of what the show is all the time, perhaps. So yeah, the premise of our show is our Game of the Year 1 month at a time. So while everybody else is having their shitty arguments and discussions right now about what their Game of the Year is and they're fighting each other, Colin and I are already done. At the end of the show, we'll tell you our Game of the Year list because we've been building it all year long. It's the easy part. The bulk of today's show is the accolades, baby. We have all sorts of things that we've been doing in between our crowning of Game of the Year. Things like the best moment in video games, the best songs in video games, the best game you didn't get around to playing, the game you need an excuse to talk about, things of that nature that we will be kind of hashing out together, talking about our honorable mentions, and then crowning a victor for each of us. No arguments today. Well, I mean, we'll make fun of each other, but we're not going to be like... Well,
yeah, there will be very little insulting each other's stuff. I can't say there will be none because I definitely have to insult some of Jake's stuff, but... Very little.
100%. Yep. That's usually how it goes, though. That's the gist. So we're recording this. Today is January 6th, the first week of January. So we have our perfect year in review. We're ready to go on that. Over the next couple weeks, we will also record a proper episode of GameList January to kick off the 2024 season 3, if you will, which will be
that's crazy.
I know, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's good that it's consistent. We've never missed a month. Not that it's that hard to pump out a podcast every month, but it can be challenging some months. You know what?
It can. We've got tight schedules.
Yes, for sure. Both equally tight.
Equally tight schedules. Yeah. And I'm always waiting for Jake to give me his calendar for the month. So
yeah, for sure. You know, it's tough. Being in med school is very busy for me.
Yeah. Med school. Yeah,
All right. So we'll have a January episode that kicks off the 2024 season, which will be very standard. That will include, of course, what we've been playing, things that are coming out, things that we're looking forward to, a bunch of stuff happening. Probably the only thing that we will not be in time for is I think Prince of Persia has a demo coming out on the 11th, and then the full game comes out on the 18th. But we should have something coming out around then, so maybe we'll have some early impressions of that game as well. What else am I forgetting? Like and subscribe. Go find us on another social network.
It's my birthday in a couple days.
Is it really? I don't know your birthday.
Yeah. I expect.
Don't say it on here. I think that's kind of a dox, right?
Yeah. No, I'm. Well, I don't know
exactly. Yeah, all right.
I mean, I use my full actual name multiple places and stuff.
Yeah. I think that where do you stand on that? I feel like the time-honored tradition of like, don't say your last name on the internet is kind of dead. Like I know Tyler Blevins.
Yeah, well, I think
you know who Tyler Blevins is?
That's Ninja, right?
It's Ninja, baby.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between people that want to uh, not necessarily report on games. We're not reporting on games, but we're doing like entertainment, I guess. That's kind of different than if you're a persona on Twitch, you know?
Sure.
So I don't know. Like I don't really have a Twitch persona. I'm just my boring old self at all times.
Yeah.
But other people do,
Yeah.
you know. I guess so that makes sense.
I think you're right. Yeah.
It's like Pokimane. I don't know what's her real name. Like,
oh, I know it. It's Imane. Shit.
Imane. I don't know.
Iman? I don't know. Okay.
Anyways, that's it for Pokimane for the
That's it for our queen.
But yes, I expect all the birthday wishes. Not really. I'm not really big on my birthday, but I felt like I had to say
my
it.
perfect birthday involves nobody speaking to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's get into the games.
Let's go. Okay.
All right. Our first one, we didn't really do a good job of ordering these, so I think like the last accolade that we give out is so like the best game that's just not for me. Like, what a way to end the show, bro.
I think it's great. It's okay. Yeah.
All right, we'll run with it. The first category is the best game you played that didn't come out this year. I'm really interested to hear yours for this because I don't know what you played for like older or retro stuff.
Yeah, mine's a very retro pick.
Really?
Yeah, I
you're
choose
being facetious.
Battlefield 5.
Ew.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're
isn't
not
it?
gonna make fun of each other's picks, and immediately I'm fucking visually disgusted by Colin's pick of Battlefield 5.
Listen, Battlefield 5 was some of the most fun I had this year. I was away doing pharmacy stuff, as I always am.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just me in this random apartment for a month, kicking back, playing Battlefield 5, and I had the best time. I got the platinum on the game that month. It's a wonderful World War II shooter.
Very nice.
It's better than people give it credit for.
Wasn't sure where I was going to land on this one for a while. We've had these accolades written down, and I kind of fill them out as the year goes on. And I didn't have a pick until October when I went back and I played Luigi's Mansion. If you listen to that episode of Game List, I was super hot on that game. However, it was usurped. You, sir. Metal Gear Solid, man. I am full blown over the moon on not only Metal Gear Solid, but I just started, we'll talk about it on again the episode of Game List proper. I just started Metal Gear Solid 2 and I streamed the first like 2 hours of it, and it's a life-changing video game franchise. I think it's my favorite thing in the world. Like it's a really weird franchise to get into just because of like, you know, from like you're probably in a similar boat to me where if you don't have experience with Metal Gear Solid, you still know a ton about Metal Gear Solid because Kojima is so prolific, and like, you know, the story of where that franchise sits like dormant now with Kojima separated from it by force. So it's a weird thing to get into when you know that there's kind of an unthorough ending but a concrete ending to the franchise. But with such a road ahead of me, I'm so glad that I hopped into it this year, and the games hold up. They're a little janky, but they hold up. So much fun. Really good shit. Let's talk about our best AA game. No, I guess explain AA, right? Like, AA can't be an indie game if you ask me.
Yeah, it can't be indie. It's got to be. It can't be indie, and it can't be a PlayStation budget type thing, pretty much. Like,
I think like it has to be like, it can't be first party developed and published. It could be first party published but developed by outside things. But I feel like the AA games will typically come from like an EA or a Ubisoft or like a Take-Two or like I don't know.
I don't know.
I think you're right. I think it's more budget than anything.
Yeah, I think it's just budget is like
you
like
know
things
one
of
when
like
you see one.
like Atomic Hearts or
AA.
Or like
The Outer Worlds.
You really think The Outer Worlds would be AA?
Would you think it's AAA?
It's Obsidian. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it is. I don't know.
But that was also when Obsidian was independent, so that would be
This
a
game
indie
just seems like it's bad Fallout.
Oh no. Okay. Anyways,
Okay.
double A is very subjective. Very subjective.
Yeah,
So-
I am proud of my pick though. I'll lead this one off.
Okay, do it.
Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line, which I think is a great example of a double A game. You know this game?
Okay. Yeah, it's the Square Enix produced rhythm game with all the Square Enix music.
Yeah, Final Fantasy music game. I think it's a masterful video game. It's not AAA. It's not the biggest budget in the world. It's got a lot of like last generation's graphics put in there, but it's a thorough celebration of the Final Fantasy series, a series that is celebrated a lot, but not comprehensively. And this game does it so comprehensively, even all the way up to the DLC. The DLC packs this year included stuff from like Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, the Mana series. They put out their most recent pack, had Final Fantasy 16 stuff to bring it all the way up to like as modern as it gets. It's got 7 Remake, it's got 7 fucking Advent Children, the movie. This game is just such a treat. I loved Final Bar Line. I mean, it makes my game of the year list, but I think it was important to give it like that accolade of like actual favorite AA game. Where'd you land?
Yeah, I also it's I want to I want to speak. Please let me speak. I want to talk about
please.
like the definition of AA.
Oh yeah.
I just looked it up. It just says a mid-market video game. This is a Wikipedia article, by the way, but that typically have some type of professional development, although typically outside of large first-party studios and major developers. Okay. It says their teams, they may be indie or non-indie studios. Teams typically range from 50 to 100 people, and some examples of games would be PUBG or DayZ, and then examples of studios would be Devolver Digital, Obsidian. So you were right. This
I don't
was
think
written.
Devolver Digital has a single AA game.
I think they're publishers technically, so they would publish AA/indie games. I don't know.
They need like fucking Hotline Miami and shit.
Haze Light Studios, so that's like It Takes Two.
Game of the year, It Takes Two.
Platinum Games.
The Game Awards.
Hey man.
Jeff Keighley, friend of the show's Game of the Year 2020. You mean to tell me?
Well, let's just for example, this also talks about the quadruple A games that people are talking about like Beyond Good and Evil 2, The Initiative working on their Perfect Dark, and then the final example, okay?
All games that don't fucking exist.
Skull and Bones is their other example. So
I played Skull and Bones. I played it.
Take that with a grain of salt. Yeah. So my pick for the best AA game, which I think this is the objectively correct answer.
Yeah.
Fort Solace.
Ew.
Fort
I gotta stop. I really need to stop saying "ew" every time you say a game.
Two for twos with twos.
That's
Fort
my
Solace.
bad.
Okay, what do you know about Fort Solace? Yeah.
I know that's the one that what's his name came out to talk about, and he was wearing shoes with no socks, and those dogs were burning.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm right. It's Troy Baker comes out. He voices a character.
Troy Baker. Yeah, it's Troy Baker and Roger Clark. That's Clark
right.
Voices the main character. Troy Baker voices the antagonist of the game. You're exploring a station on Mars. It doesn't really. It's just like a really good AA walking sim type game that's very environmental. Yeah. Lots of environmental storytelling and whatnot. I had a wonderful time with it. I just thought of
a great example of a AA game, bro.
What is it?
Plague Tale.
Yeah, actually, that would be a great example. Also, a great example of some of the greatest games ever made.
Ew.
I hate you. I hate you. Anyways, on to category 3.
Yeah. Best feature. Yeah. I bet we have the same thing written down here.
Oh, you think so?
You think? You want to do it on 3?
on the count of 3, okay?
All right. 1, 2,
3.
All right. Oh, active time lore.
Active time lore at Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, dude, it's so good.
Yeah,
It's so
really
good. It's truly, I want it in every game, and I think that maybe I would say that this is something that if there's a very smart employee that's sitting at like Nintendo, Microsoft, or Sony right now, someone that makes video game consoles, the smartest thing that they're going to try to do is implement that as like a built-in feature across like a system's UI, because like PlayStation started flirting with that stuff too. I think kind of no avail. Like I don't think it's really implemented that well with like the game built-in like game guides with the PS5.
Yeah, like the cards and stuff.
Yeah. I remember they had something going on with that at launch, and I think some of it's actually been done away with already because
they have all the main things like that, but it's a developer by developer basis. So like some developers like Remedy takes full advantage of those things.
Sure.
And then others don't. And then but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I see this show up more.
Yeah, I think at the very least we'll see it hop into, I think, a bunch of other games. You want to explain real quick what active time lore is?
Yeah, so active time lore is pretty much if you're watching a cutscene, and imagine you are dropped down into just any cutscene in Final Fantasy 16, and these people are talking, and they're talking about like Rosaria.
Clive and Jill are talking,
yeah, and they're just talking about like the politics and the leaders and whatnot. So what you can do with active time lore is you can touch the touchpad, and it will pop up almost like it's a context sensitive encyclopedia. And I'm gonna punch you. It's a context sensitive encyclopedia where you can hover over and it will tell you what Rosaria is, or what Ifrit is, or what anything they're talking about is, the relationships between people and the different kingdoms and whatnot. So for someone that isn't really into the device, if you're not really into the lore, then you can just tap this and it'll tell you what's going on. There we go. That's all I got.
Very good.
You ruined my train of thought.
I think that's my, yeah. I have no idea anything that you said. I was just trying to think of funny terms for Final Fantasy 16. Joshua. He says Joshua funny.
I should have asked him to say Joshua when I met him at the Game Awards.
For sure. Or you said like Colin.
Hey, can you say my name in a really hot way?
Smart. Good question. Let's talk about. Oh, I was just like, let's talk about best feature. I forgot to change it from AA game. If you're watching the video version, I have a little visual aid that I'm really good at keeping up with. Let's talk about the best thing. I'm about to go off.
I think we have the same thing on this as well, probably.
Because there's only one good answer.
Yeah.
What is it?
Psych Odyssey.
Oh, Double Fine Psych Odyssey, a 30-part absolute trip. The best look at the creative process that's ever existed, I believe.
It is the best video game documentary ever made.
I believe it's the best documentary ever made.
And I was about to say up there with the best documentaries ever made.
It's over like a 7 or 8 year period. It has Double Fine, who, if you don't know, Psych Odyssey is basically the story of the development of Psychonauts 2 over time. But if you're familiar with Tim Schafer and Double Fine's history,
and Rhombus of Ruin,
True, yeah, that's the one everyone remembers. They always say, "I want the documentary on Rhombus of Ruin."
True.
But I think more importantly, it's looking at what it takes to create a AAA game. I believe I would call that a AAA game with the budget and the team size that they end up with. And really interesting to see where the company goes for this landscape, because that game starts off as like an independent development and becomes a first party studio over the course of it. Seeing Double Fine prolific studio get acquired by Microsoft, and to see Phil Spencer and Matt Booty march into that place, halfway through the documentary, and the way that things change and how they're affected is just truly unreal. If you have an interest in how stuff's made, what's the expression? Something about making how you make the
I don't know this expression.
Someone in the comments is gonna nail it. How the something's made. I don't know. I got nothing.
I have no idea.
It's a really impressive watch. And God, it's like the truth is stranger than fiction type of thing, where like the drama that unfolds is so much more interesting because it's so real, and it's truly more insane than you could write with some of the things that happen.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's also like, no, you're good. It's just the artistry that the editors had to have, and just the skill to sort through 7 to 8 years worth of footage to build a story that tells about a 24-hour documentary that tells the story over those 8 years. How they not necessarily, they don't like I don't believe they twist the footage to portray characters in certain ways, but just the way people are, you know, you start to attach to this person's caricature and the way that they act. And there are characters that you see come into the studio and you become attached to them, and then you see them leave. You see them get fired or change studios or something. And it's just, it makes you feel emotions, you know. It's like, it's a very emotional story about how video games are made, and it goes through all the way up, like through the pandemic. And when you hit the pandemic part, it's just like,
dude, so
just
good.
Straight depression. Like it's awful, but it's so good. It's one
crazy.
of the best stories ever told.
Yeah, and it's like such an interesting time capsule to have so much time to be able to spend 20 something episodes getting the lay of the land, and then seeing what is now 20 or 30 hours of footage.
Yep.
Getting you used to what the status quo is and how that's affected by the pandemic and the shutdown is just so wild to even look at it through that lens. Excuse me. 2Player Productions is the
RIP.
Yeah, they're still they're folded in too, I believe. I think all those people are employed by Double Fine, correct? Right?
Yeah, but I thought they kind of disbanded 2Player Productions, and that they're just employed by Double Fine now, from my understanding.
I think there's still 2Player Productions within Double Fine, but they're basically hired, I'm pretty sure, to persistently make documentaries for whatever Double Fine's. Can we talk real quick about current events?
Sure.
Have you heard about the Double Fine rumors that are happening right now?
No, I've not.
Rumors circulating right now of the week of the 14th, there being an Xbox Developer Direct.
Oh, yeah.
And in addition to that,
I have seen that.
The same way that Hi-Fi Rush was shadow dropped, there's rumors of a shadow drop. And among the teams that are rumored to be appearing at this Direct are Double Fine. And a lot of signs point to a shadow drop of Kiln.
Oh, the expanded Amnesia Fortnite game. That'd be fun.
Oh, Amnesia Fortnite, the best thing. The best thing, and it's not close. If you don't know what we're talking about, we won't go any further. Please watch Double Fine Psych Odyssey. Even if you watch half an episode a night for 2 months, it is so worth your time.
It is 100% free, all on YouTube.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And I challenge you to watch half an episode a night for 2 months. It will absolutely eat the next day off that you have. You will watch it for 16 hours.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. The best thing, and it's not fucking close.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the best game to play in a day. Mine's even more specific. I got the best game to play in a night.
I'm trying to think of what it would be.
What's your game?
Mine is Jusant.
Oh, nice. I cleaned up. I played Jusant.
Yeah. It was
all right. List.
I was
also sponsored to play it. I think I have to disclose that.
It was okay. It was an okay game.
Yeah.
But it was short, so that's why I said best game to play in a day.
Yeah. Mine's Venba.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's a good one. I haven't played Venba, but that's a good one.
Yeah. Give them the real quick on what Jusant is.
Jusant, you're climbing up a giant tower. That's about it. You climb, it has rope physics, and if you don't like climbing, then you won't like this game. Aside from that,
really nice climbing though.
Yeah,
it feels good. My fingers were tired the next day after doing so much trigger.
Well, I think I'm like, where did you play it? Did you play it on Xbox?
PS5.
Oh, so you bought it? I thought it was a.
I was
Game
sponsored.
Pass game.
I did not.
Oh, that's right. Um, I I just I don't know.
$25 game though.
I'm not super hype on it. I think it's a fine game. It's pretty. You climb up a mountain and try to fix the climate change. But aside from that, it didn't really hit me very hard. But it is probably the shortest game I've played all year.
It does a little bit what like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom do, where they're not the most graphically impressive video games, but they manage to be beautiful with the cards that they're dealt. You know, like I think it's got some really striking visuals, despite not being like a graphically impressive video game on paper. Developed by Donod.
Yeah, it should also be noted I played this game in a hotel room in California while I was at a conference, so
okay.
It was not the ideal play scenario.
People play video games all over. I'm sure a bunch of people have their game of the year or something they played on Steam Deck primarily, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think the really cool thing about Jusant is that there's a, like, I don't know, at face value, when I was looking at marketing materials, I didn't really take it in, but I was surprised at how much of like a mystical fantasy element there was, despite the gameplay being pretty much just like a climbing game. There's a cool layer of like, you got your little homie, the little water homie. Very cool.
Yeah, I have some large complaints with the game that I won't really get into.
Like spoilery stuff?
Yeah, kind of. You know what? This is our game of the year chat. We should have said at the top of the show. Yeah, spoilers are on this entire show. We can spoil anything we want.
Yeah, we'll give ample warning like this. But...
so you're just this dude that doesn't talk, and you got this little blue guy that's with you that's supposedly supposed to cure climate change or whatever. And the premise of the game is the world used to be flooded and people lived on this tower, but as the waters receded, their food source went away, so they had to leave the tower to find food elsewhere. So you get to the top of the tower and you find a moon that is made of water, where that's where all the water went. It's just like a water moon, and there's these giant flying whales that you have to revive to make them the giant flying whales are the ones that make it rain, but they all got frozen at the top of the tower.
Make it rain on them hoes. All right.
Yeah, so it's fine, but you unfreeze the whales and then they make it rain again, but you never see any other people. So it's like, did you just like make it rain and flood and drown everyone else in the world? Like, it's just the story sucks. I'll say that, but it's pretty and the climbing's fine. So best game to play today. Don't let me oversell it.
Mine is Venba, and Venba is a hour-and-a-half long game if you take your time, and it is, I would say, like, more visual novel than cooking game. It's got what I would like call like 4 cooking sections, and one of them is longer than the others that include like kind of light puzzling and mini games, but it's impossible to fail this game. And it's truly a heartfelt story about an immigrant family in Canada, an Indian family that moves to Canada, and the hardships that they experience. First, it's about the hardships of the parents. Spoilers for Venba. The hardships of the parents raising their child, and then the hardships of the child who grows up having, assimilated to the culture in a different way than his parents did, and kind of reconciling that with them. And finding out what the best way is to interact with them and how that plays out. And it's really touching a couple different times, and it definitely made me cry.
Yeah, it's a story about both first and second generation immigrants and how they try to retain their heritage without
compromising their like core values and like wanting to. I think it's a very like standard human story. You don't need to be an immigrant to feel connection to what these people are going through, although they probably went through it on a more grand scale than you did if you don't have that same shared experience. But without a doubt, it is like a very interesting story about, I think compromise is like a really interesting term to use there. I hope that, I think that's the right word to use, because it's interesting the way that things happen. I think that one of the really interesting things is that you spend the first half of that game kind of assuming that the parents are going to give up everything to kind of support their kid, and they do to a point, but also when the child comes of age and the kind of story splits a little bit, I love that the mother moves back to India because Canada isn't right for her, which I think is such a nice twist on what you would expect to happen. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, based on a true story, so again, truth stranger than fiction type of situation. But I love the way that story plays out, and it's so nice. Can't recommend it enough.
It's a story about how as a kid you want to fit in, but then as an adult you realize that you actually appreciate the things that make you different more.
Without a doubt.
Also, take a quick step back. I just want to predict what next year's best feature will be. It's going to be the map and screenshot system in Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown or whatever it's called. What's it called? Pretty much, you can take a screenshot and pin it to the map, and when you look at the map, you'll be able to see that screenshot and see like what type of puzzle that you need to go back and solve.
Yeah, that's nice. That's pretty innovative.
Yeah, that's my prediction for next year's best feature.
Good pull. Yeah. Let's hope that it doesn't find its way here into this category next year. The best game I didn't play.
Yeah.
I'm interested because
it might make it for me, honestly. We'll see.
Mine, I had a couple different things for this. I thought maybe that I would kind of go to like my actual GameList and end up seeing something that was on my list of misses that I would say like Octopath 2 and Immortals of Avium are kind of my big like misses of like, ooh, I probably like that game. But I came up with a different answer in Pizza Tower.
See,
you know that game?
I do. It does not interest me at all.
No, I can't imagine it would. But it's like a Wario Land inspired game with an obtuse art style, and it just seemed like it would be right up my alley. I don't have too much else to say about it because it's still on my radar to play, like those other two games. But I think that Pizza Tower is the one that's probably the best out of all of those. I mean, Octopath probably, but whatever.
I hate the art style of Pizza Tower. Like I hate it. I hate the
I don't even like
design. Yeah, but whatever. Mine. I kind of have a dual answer for this. I couldn't decide between the two.
Yeah.
The System Shock remake. Then
that came out.
Yeah, it came out on PC. It hasn't come out on console yet. That's why I haven't played it. And then Remnant 2. I haven't gotten around to Remnant 2.
Yeah.
I have it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So
it just hit Game Pass. They put out Remnant 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I've got it on PlayStation. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Too many other games to play.
Fair.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the best multimedia, which this and the best thing were kind of hand in hand. I didn't know what to put where. It's basically between putting
I agree.
Psych Odyssey here or at best thing, and I do think it transcends multimedia because it really is just my favorite thing of the year. If I was ranking all my favorite games of the year, it would be my number one favorite game, then Psych Odyssey, and then all the other games that I like. But for my best multimedia, I chose Oppenheimer. Man, it's so good.
I did
It's
as
just
well.
a favorite TV show or piece of music, or
I wish I had gone and I should have gone and found the actual movie. I just got it the other day, but yeah, absolutely. Oppenheimer, best movie of the year.
Good, dude. Nolan doing like a character study drama.
So good. It's so good.
Soundtrack.
Honestly, one of the best soundtracks in a long time. It's so good. I can't wait to watch it again. What a movie.
Ludwig, bro. Unreal.
Freaking Cillian Murphy. My
I feel
man.
like when I think Oscars, like, it's gonna get nominated for Best Picture. I think it'll get nominated for Best Actor for Cillian. I think it'll get Best Supporting Actor for
Emily
RDJ
Blunt
and Emily Blunt for actress.
Emily, dude, that Emily Blunt scene is so
repeat.
Good.
Yeah, it's unreal.
God,
it's unreal.
What a movie!
So
if you haven't watched it,
honorable mention. My second favorite movie of the year is Killers of the Flower Moon, which is also extremely good.
Dude, I haven't watched that yet. I'm so mad. I haven't watched
again,
it
nominations, no question, for Leo and shit. I don't know her name, but she's absolutely incredible in it. And
wow,
of course, the legend. This motherfucker pitching absolute fastballs at like 95 years old. Robert De Niro, he's like 80. but he's like 80. But if I can do anything as well as Robert De Niro acts at 80, I'm gonna be a fucking savant of something. It's ridiculous.
I have a couple other honorable mentions for this, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Throw 'em out.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Amazing. Barbie was great. Gen V, the Boys TV show, like spinoff, was really good. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was wonderful.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was better than expected, huh? Oh yeah, 3. You're right. Yeah, that's one of the only ones that I actually saw in theaters last year.
Same.
It's the only MCU movie I saw in theaters last year. What world we're living in.
Same, I think. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Talk about the best moment in video games. Things are gonna get spoilery here.
Okay.
Things are gonna get very spoilery here. Big warning.
Yeah, for me as well.
My best moment is.
Wait, say the. Okay, I was about to say the game first, so they can mute it for a minute.
Oh yeah. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom spoilers coming up. Big Zelda Tears of the Kingdom spoilers coming up. Went back and forth on which moment in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom I wanted to be on here. The final fight, the entire final 20 minutes of that game, is maybe the pound for pound better experience to put here if I was trying to convince the world of the best moment. Just because, what are you shaking your head for?
It's okay. It's an okay.
Oh my god, it's unfucking believable. The series of events that include the Ganondorf fight in that fucking final showdown after descending the depths to get to him, fighting Ganondorf, and it's a fucking Souls boss with that health bar that extends just like off the right of the screen.
I did like that part. I like that
so
part.
So hype. And I doubt you beat him first try. Like, I loved that was like really challenging. Like, you had to learn that fight. Yeah, you had to learn that fight. And then you fight him and he eats the fucking dragon stone and then becomes a dragon, and then
I saw a mile away.
Sure. Then you end up going up to the sky with your dragon GF. More on that in a second. And you have that crazy fucking fight in the sky that ends with Zelda finally transforming back into herself. And then the fucking dive with the musical cue, bro. Dun, 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 dun. You're forgetting the music. You forgot the music was so good. Unreal. And then you have to hit A to dive and catch Obey. No, it's extravagantly good.
Here's the thing. The original tracks for Tears of the Kingdom are good, but the ones that they reused from past games are fine. They needed more original stuff for that game.
I loved this one particularly because it was not only the original track, that theme from Tears of the Kingdom, but it starts putting in, it has that big build up where it's like dun, 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 and it brings in the original Zelda theme, and at the same time it also interpolates Zelda's fucking dun, dun, dun. Go listen to, like, I forget the name of the track. It's like The Final Dive or something like that. It's 2.5 minutes long. There's a rip of it on YouTube. It is the most incredible fucking musical. Oh my god. Anyway, it's not my moment of the year. Let's talk about my moment of the year. Depending on how you go about it, my moment of the year is finding the Master Sword in Tears of the Kingdom. And I had a different experience than some people did. Some people have an experience where they go to the Korok Forest and they kind of figure out where the Master Sword is by getting a moving beacon. I didn't have that. I stumbled upon the extra dragon in this game and landed on the dragon. And when landing on the dragon, I noticed sitting in front of the fucking... Colin. What are you sending me?
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch it. I'm monologuing about my favorite moment of the year.
Oh, okay, sorry. Pay for the backstage pass tier to see what I sent Jake on Discord.
All right. What are you watching? Well, you didn't tell the viewers now.
Okay, sorry. When you talk about Zelda, I kind of tune out a little bit, so I'm just scrolling through YouTube Shorts, and there was a funny one.
You're
that I
such a
sent you.
fucking asshole. Just the thumbnail. All right, listen, listeners. I'm just sitting here talking about my favorite moments, and all of a sudden I get a message from Colin. And when I get a message from Colin during the show, it's usually like your mic's fucked up, or like, can we take a break after this? And I look, and it's just this like boobed out, boobed out gymnast girl. Fucking inspiration, my daily inspiration, gym motivation, fitness woman. Oh my, it caught me off guard so badly. Oh my god. All right.
It's
Where
just
were
a
we?
funny YouTube video.
All right, sure. All right,
Sorry.
let's watch it together here.
Zelda.
Yeah, so I found the sword by chance. I was swinging by. I had just found my final titular tier of the kingdom that revealed a tease of eating the dragon stone. And on my way to the final tier, the final memory to find out what happens to Zelda, I stumbled upon the Zelda dragon with the fucking master sword hanging out of her head. And I put it all together in that moment right before it was fucking revealed to me. And it was the most magical thing that's ever happened in a video game. And I'm so glad that I streamed my entire playthrough of that game, like 50 hours, because it's captured and immortalized forever on YouTube. YouTube.com/@Jake Twitch or AmazingStreamer.com.
You obviously didn't play Alan Wake 2 because the most magical thing that's ever happened in a video game for me.
I was wondering if I could like learn the dance and do like the
do the dance while I'm talking about it. It's not a hard dance. You're pretty close. Yeah. Chapter We Sing. It's one of the earlier chapters in Alan Wake 2, and you play as Alan Wake, and you're in the dark place, which is like a conceptual. It's a warping, like a conceptual place, pretty much. So it changes based on whatever, and you're starting to walk through this like showroom area, and like a music video just breaks out, and you're going through playing along to this music video, and they're directing you through the level. It should be noted, like the music video, there are live action people dancing and singing and playing instruments and like being displayed on giant screens and pointing to tell you where to go, and there's stage directions on the ground, and it says wait here for the guitar solo, and you sit and you wait, and it preps you for the fight, and you go and you get your flare gun during this fight. It's by far the best.
Did you die during it?
I died multiple times. Yeah,
and you know what? Your experience?
Absolutely not. I got to listen to the song more. There are puzzles. There's like the kind of, like the kind of puzzle where you kind of walk in a circle and then it changes whenever you walk again or whatever, and it loops you whatnot. There are those types of puzzles there and whatnot. It's just one of the most magical experiences I've ever had in a video game. It has stuck with me, and I got to witness. It sounds like I don't know. I got to see them perform this in person. I got to watch Poets of the Fall, aka Old Gods of Asgard, and Ilka Vili and Matthew Porretta and Sam Lake all perform this at the Game Awards. It is truly like something that has never happened. Like Remedy does this thing in video games where they use multimedia and they mix things in with each other. They use a literature, and they use live action, they use animation, it's just everything. They take every type of media that has ever been created and they mesh it in such an artistic way. I love it. I love every second of it, and it's a moment that will be hard to ever beat, honestly.
I think it's gonna age like milk, dude, and I think it's gonna be super.
Think so.
I think it's already overstaying its welcome, and listening to people that are passionate about it talk about it this year has already been grating on me. And every time I'm like, I gotta hear about people talk about fucking.
It's because you don't know how to be happy, okay?
It's an
that's
abrasive
exactly how
track.
I feel.
It's
Absolutely. It's not abrasive. You're talking about
abrasive-
Zelda.
It's
Zelda's
an abrasive
the most
track.
boring game
Oh my
I've
god,
ever
it's
played.
orchestral and beautiful
Zelda says,
and
"Hey,
iconic
you want to
music
take
that spans
30
a
minutes to
35
walk
year
over this hill and find a
franchise."
freaking bowl, like a mushroom? Hey, you know
Okay,
what?
bro.
It's cold here. You got to cook a pepper stew.
All right,
if
let's
you want
go
to get
capture
through
the
this area.
light, bro.
Yeah.
Capture the light.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You know what? I was happy about the end of Zelda just because it ended, so I wouldn't have to play it anymore.
Right. We should do a
Yeah.
5-part spoiler cast for Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, we would have if you had the balls to play Alan Wake 2. You're too scared to play horror games.
I hate the fucking commentary on Zelda. If that game would have come out in November, it would be game of the year unanimously through
Absolutely
every fucking
not.
outlet.
Absolutely
100%.
not.
People have
Listen,
forgot the fun they had in that game.
Can we
it's
copy
a
and paste
mind-blowing
Tears of the
conundrum.
Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, you know?
Yeah, if you have to make a sequel to the greatest game of all time, maybe you should keep a lot of what makes the greatest game of all time great. You're right.
Or maybe they should do what they did before and change it up every time
Oh
to
my god, I
create
can't
the
wait for fucking
newest
Alan
greatest
Wake
game of
3
all
to
time.
come out so that these old guards of Asgard can
Alan Wake-
fucking...
Old Gods of Asgard is so cool.
Oh my god, I can't wait for their
Yeah.
next fucking hit single that I can't stand.
Yeah, who directed Tears of the Kingdom? You don't even
Onuma.
know. Yeah,
Eiji
no,
Onuma.
no, it took you too long.
Yeah, the king of Zelda. It didn't take me
Onuma
long at all.
should be Oldma because he needs to retire because other people need to make video games.
Yeah, you're right. He should have put himself in the game in live action. That would have made Zelda better.
Dude, that's such a big. That's a BDE energy, you know, or BDE.
Oh my god,
B
bro.
energy. You know what?
All right. And that's it for GameList. That's a series wrap.
Just kidding. Season 3's canceled.
The best game to take screenshots
wait,
of.
I'm not done.
No, we're done.
I'm not done. The best moment for me as well. I got to meet Alan Wake in person.
I got to meet
His
Zelda
face
in my dreams.
and his voice. in your body pillow.
Yeah, maybe. No, it's a chic body pillow. But
Oh,
I
so you must not
I really do think that like the people that are like super hot on like it reminds me of like the 2012 Walking Dead game where everyone's like, oh, it's the best game's not even a game, it's a piece of art, and all those people are just fucking silent about their love for that mid game now. Like it's gonna be the same thing.
No.
Alan Wake 2. Ugh.
I disagree.
Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is a timeless video game that will be spoken of for years.
How many
and
awards
generations
did
to
Zelda
come.
win at the Game Awards?
The Game Awards, the crowners of It
How
Takes
many
Two, the
awards?
2020 video
How many
game
awards
of the
did
year,
they win?
the AA video game of the year.
How many awards did they? Hey, we played that game together. Okay, go
I
easy
loved
on
it.
it.
I like that game. That game's like
Yeah.
top 2020.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, it didn't come out in November, so it's fucked.
I disagree.
What's the
You know what
best
else
game to
didn't come
take
out in November?
screenshots of? Spider-Man 2, the best game to take screenshots of. But it did come out in November. No, it came out in October.
No, it didn't. It came out October.
Yeah. What's your answer for this game?
Star Wars Jedi Survivor, because I took a bunch of screenshots of
Yeah, dude, you're right.
of Cal and Marin making out, and I sent them to you on Discord.
Yeah,
And I said,
so
hey, yo,
weird.
look at this.
Yeah, you like Marin, huh?
Yeah, Marin's hot.
I don't know. It
I
doesn't
think-
do it for me.
I think Marin's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
she's like the
That's
last
fair.
of her race or something. I don't know.
I was really excited to write not applicable. Yeah, she's a daughter of Dathomir, isn't she?
Yeah. I'm less interested in, like, I don't really care. Like, Marin's cool and all, but I just think it's fun when video games actually like have a romance, if that makes sense. Because lots of times they just shy away and they're like, well, if we make you romance this person, you're going to be pissed because you can't romance this other person. I just like when people make that decision to have it in there, you know? I don't know.
Judy, like Judy.
You know what I mean?
Judy.
Judy's great.
Judy's great.
Yeah.
You gotta say it like that, though.
I can't do that.
Okay, fair.
I'm more of a Pan Am person myself.
I was ready to have a no answer for this because I do not get my rocks off taking screenshots in games like everybody does. I know there's a big culture of that, of like, look at this incredible capture that I did with the filters so that Aloy looks like she's climbing the mountain in the dark, and it doesn't do anything for me. However, I did open the screenshot app once so that I could make a really good Spider-Man 2 thumbnail wearing the Daft Punk suit for Miles Morales, which I couldn't find a good capture of online. So Spider-Man 2, baby, run, don't walk.
Spider-Man 2 is a good looking game though. It is
no doubt. Yeah, it's my favorite 8 of the year.
Yeah, it definitely looks better than Tears of the Kingdom, you know.
No, it doesn't. It actually doesn't. Like, actually,
anyway,
I feel strongly that like the best looking game of the year is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and it's running on a potato.
Oh, and it's 14 frames a second.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It looks like every frame of that game looks like a fucking watercolor painting. It's beautiful.
Yeah, because it's blurry.
Pura.
That's fair. You raise a good point.
Thank you. We finally agree.
What is your most anticipated game of the year next year?
Ooh. I was gonna say you should answer for me because you can definitely put it together, but I don't. Then it would turn into me trying to answer for you, and I don't think that I could. But it might be the same.
No, let's do that. Yeah, I like that.
I don't know anything that's coming out.
Okay, your most anticipated game is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Realistically, yes. It's also Kingdom Hearts 4, but Rebirth is concrete for this year. I do think that there's a chance that probably not, but I think Kingdom Hearts 4 gets re-revealed this year with like a concrete date of maybe like the same like February through April of 2025 as its release date. Potentially even holiday season this year, but I'm not sure where it's at. But yeah, realistically, it's 7 Rebirth, and it's not fucking close. Unbelievable.
So what do you think mine is?
I think Rebirth is up there, and it could be Rebirth.
It is not Rebirth. I'll give you that.
Then it's probably Marathon.
Oh, no, not Marathon. Marathon got pushed to 2025 as well, I believe.
It's The Last of Us Part 2 remastered.
That's close. No, not really. Sorry for that. I'll be getting that.
Oh, shit. I don't know.
It's Dragon's Dogma 2.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
Being the case. Yeah, you're gonna like that game.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait for that game. And then a very, very close runner-up, Star Wars Outlaws. I love Star Wars.
Outlaws is up there for me as well. Ubisoft. Open world in a Star Wars game, I think is going to translate really well. I just hope that... I don't know, I fell into the pitfall of like... One of the things that I think, and I get it, it's fan servicey, and this is the lowbrow thing that people fucking hate from Star Wars a lot of times, is my favorite part of like modern Star Wars is because they don't often stick the landing on the actual modern stories, is when there is an intertwining of like, I like when Vader shows up at the end of Fallen Order, spoilers for the 2017 video game, and there wasn't much of that. 18 maybe? Yeah, you're right.
19.
Sure. There wasn't much of that in Jedi Survivor, and I got myself hyped up on that. I hope that Star Wars Outlaws has something to... I don't know, there's probably a whole camp of people that are like, leave everybody that we know from Star Wars out of it. Make Outlaws its own thing so that it doesn't have to stand on, you know, the back of existing lore and characters. But I hope that there's like a big piece of Outlaws that's missing already from those first trailers, where like you find out that you're actually working like with Boba Fett, or you're getting missions from Jabba the Hutt or something like that. I need some good cameo stuff, some good intertwining of the story for that to really feel like Star Wars to me.
I have good news for you.
Okay.
One, Boba Fett shows up in Jedi Survivor.
Okay, you're right.
Is it the end of a quest line? Yeah.
Yeah, a side quest line. It's pretty good though.
Two, Jabba the Hutt is confirmed to be a character in Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh shit! Dope.
Yeah. So you'll be going to Tatooine. So, yeah.
Nice.
I think that craving will be satisfied.
Yeah, I think so. Let's talk about the best game that you didn't beat this year.
Oh, you want me to go first?
I mean, I can go first, or you go first. You go first.
This one's it would be pretty obvious if you've kept up throughout the year, but Octopath 2. I never got around to beating it. I know it's such a wonderful game. I had such a good time with what I played. I it's the same thing with Octopath 1. I just fell off and I haven't gotten back. It's so good.
That 2 calls to me, man. I almost bought it on the Steam sale for like $42, but it's still a little rich for my blood for a game that I miss. I wish I would have just been on the hype train and bought that game for 60 or 70 when it came out. I would have felt better about it, but now it's sitting in that weird Nintendo land of like, no, the game's 7 months old. You can't give it to me for less than $40. Like,
oh, you could probably get it on like a key for it for Steam. Somewhere pretty cheap.
I don't like buying weird third-party fucking reseller keys.
Oh, dude, I buy from like Green Man Gaming and Fanatical all the time. They've got such good deals.
Really? Legit?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna steal my license away after a couple.
Nope,
months?
never had. I've only had good experiences with these places.
Mine is a very regretful pick because I did it again, man. I let Metroid Prime come out. I started Metroid Prime again and didn't beat it again. The same curse 20 years later that I fucking fell into the first time, man.
I beat that. I beat that for
I know,
the very
good for
first
you.
time.
You're a better Nintendo boy than I am. You think Zelda Tears of the Kingdom's game of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Tears of the Kingdom. I love that game around here.
Yeah, but I really should have done it, and I still have it in the back of my head of like I should complete that. But it's also a game that if you don't just mash through it and you try to come back to it, you're boned. It doesn't have quality of life features to like keep you there. You need to really know that map and learn where you're supposed to go. And
I was screwed from the start. I had to look stuff up because I didn't know how to get to the final boss fight because it's so like obscure,
obtuse. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you mine first for best platinum. Not applicable. I did not platinum any video games this year. I did technically go back and get my second platinum in the form of Astrobot Rescue Mission, or is it, I get them mixed up. I can't, which one's Astro's Playroom and which one's Astrobot Rescue Mission?
Rescue Mission is the VR one. Playroom is the PS5 pack-in.
Playroom is the one that I platinumed this year.
Yeah,
so kind of that, but that's not a game that came out this year. So what's the best platinum? How many did you get?
I think I got. Oh, I have the stats somewhere. I think
like
I got
20?
somewhere around 20 platinums this year.
Crazy.
I had
What's your pick?
Spider-Man 2. It's the most like inoffensive platinum. It doesn't waste your time. It makes sure that you're having fun every single second of the game. It's
the game that I thought mostly. So historically, my first platinum ever, and the only game that I've ever really like platinumed that's like full in length is Ratchet and Clank, the previous Insomniac game, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And I thought maybe again, after hearing what Colin is saying, what others said about the platinum for Spider-Man 2, I was like, maybe this is the one for me. But Spider-Man 2 is just such a fucking open world, buy the books, go do everything on the map type beat thing that I was like, oh, I'll do it. I like Insomniac platinums. They seem to be reasonable. And by the time I was done, like my first set of fucking quests, I did all the Sandman stuff. I was like, I never want to fight a sand enemy again. And then I started doing the next thing. I'm doing this side mission for this lady with her fucking dog. And I was like, I'm out. And I fucking deleted the game. And I did have no regrets.
See, I feel like you missed out on a lot of the really good side quests.
I was so sick of it.
There's lots of touching moments in Spider-Man 2. They did a much better job of making the side stuff quick and inoffensive in this game. Which I'm also used to just playing Ubisoft games that take 40 to 60 hours to platinum doing checklist stuff.
Yeah.
So that stuff like that tickles my brain in the right way. But Spider-Man definitely was like the most enjoyable and least offensive in terms of how much time it takes up.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the game we need an excuse to talk about. Go first.
Yeah. Mine was actually Avatar. What?
I said I'll go first, and then you go. Mine was actually.
Oh, I thought you said you go first. My bad. My bad.
You're good. Continue. I'm not.
Well, I've already started. So
yeah, you.
Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. You know, I don't think this game was not good enough to make it on my top 10. It also came in a little bit at the end. But man, it is so cool to be in Pandora and just vibing, going through the giant forests and all these like alien life forms and like all the different flora and fauna. It was really cool. I did platinum this game as well. It took me about 43 hours, and by the end, I was over it. I was done. The combat is not very fun. The story sucks. The voice acting's terrible. But it's a beautiful game.
That game underperformed.
Absolutely. 100%.
Like I don't think it made the splash that it should have. Yeah. And it kind of got dumped out at the end of December too, at the beginning of December. Like kind of missed that window. I feel like this game would probably make a bigger splash if it had an extra 3 months to cook and came out in like February.
Probably. If they just needed to market it more. I feel like it could have done fine if they marketed it better. But like when it released, there was nothing. Or dumped
it like at the same time of like Way of Water coming out, or waiting for Avatar 3 to come out. Like I don't know.
This game, it's an interesting game. Like I had a good time with it. There were parts that I was like, oh, but it is truly like a huge open world. Like you're like climbing up these floating mountains like miles into the sky.
Yeah, how's the flying?
The flying's good.
Yeah,
the flying's the flying is good. There's lots of really good parts about it, but I was just not compelled by the story. And Ubisoft's been doing this odd thing, you know, in Assassin's Creed Mirage. You played that game, so the way the quest structure is laid out, where it doesn't really tell you exactly where to go, it just says kind of go around this area and then you'll find it. They've been doing that. Yeah, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Not, especially not in these giant open worlds where the area that they tell you to go to is like a square mile. So it's really hard to find.
Climb to the highest peak, and then you realize that you're on the wrong mountain.
Yeah. So there are issues with that. Also, this is Avatar Far Cry, but the Far Cry team didn't make this, which I think is a letdown. I think if the Far Cry team had have made this, it would have been a lot better. This was actually massive. The people that I could don't hold me to this, but I think Massive made the Division 2.
That's correct, I believe.
And they're also the ones that are making Star Wars Outlaws. Cool. Which is kind of crazy that they're putting out these massive games so close together. But
is Outlaws third person?
Outlaws is third person, yes. So important. I think it might fit better with their like OG design knowledge and like strategy, but this is first person. And the combat wasn't fun. The resource gathering was really annoying. But it's just one of those things where it was so cool to be immersed in Pandora. That's something. It feels like a truly alien planet, and it was. I don't know. It's like a novelty almost that I really appreciated.
For sure. Good cover of that game. I think I do want to check it out still.
It's definitely worth checking out, and it's had some pretty deep discounts recently as well.
Yeah. Mine's Chia, man. I love Chia so much. I just can't talk about anything this year effectively without talking about how much I want people to play Chia. Like every game that comes up, they're like, I should play something. What should I play? Every time it's like, recommend me a game. I just want to talk about how much I love Chia. It's so weird, and it goes on such a crazy adventure and brings you to places in the story that you would not expect. It's the most charming little indie game I've played. It is, I don't know. Hey, listen, you played a little bit of Chia. AAA, AA. Where you at on that? What do you think?
Neither. I would just call it an indie,
It's just a game.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's divine. It ended up, you'll find out where it falls on my list, but it's top 3, baby. I think it's such a perfect little video game, and it has story beats that hit in such a way that I'm going to talk about in some of our other categories coming up. I'll leave spoilers off for Chia right now.
Every year we request that one of us plays another game, pretty much. So I requested you play Chants of Sonar this year. You requested I play Chia. So I think I have maybe 4 to 6 hours in Chia. Nice. Maybe a little less. And it's good. I've had a fine time with it. I do have some issues with that
far. Like I beat that game in 7 hours.
See, well, I want to collect everything. I get distracted.
Don't do that.
I'm not a fan of the quest structure where it's like go to this side of the island. Okay, you had a 30-second conversation. Go to the other side of the island, and then go back, and then go back. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they could have.
Traversal is kind of the main thing of that game. Have you gotten good at like launching yourself on trees and shit like that? And
yeah, it's just. I don't feel like that's any faster though, because I have to climb up the tree, which takes a minute, and then I launch myself, and I have to climb up another tree.
Bounce going though.
I don't know. It's just, it hasn't been my thing. I want to continue it, but I don't know if I will. But I did give it some time. I gave it some time.
Yeah.
I gave it more time than you gave Chance of Sonar.
Oh, I was out on Chance of Sonar quick. We'll get there. Yeah, it's coming up. It makes my list somewhere. Let's talk about character of the year. Oh, I'm really excited about having this conversation because mine is Wowie Zowie.
Oh, Lord.
Elephant Mario, baby. So cursed. I know. Listen, it's a bit of a meme pick, and I think it's funny to have Mario be my favorite character of the year. But I think Elephant Mario is a stroke of genius, and it's the first power up in a long time that is fully original from a Mario game that Miyamoto was not very hands-on with. And in fact, Miyamoto is on record being a little bit opposed to Elephant Mario. And I think the team that ended up bringing us Elephant Mario, they knocked it out of the fucking park. Trust them with the franchise, baby. I think it's great. And I mean, honorable mention to Elephant Daisy and Peach and Luigi and Toad and all of those different elephant renditions. It's just a cool Mario power-up. It reminds me of the childlike joy I experienced getting the frog suit for the first time. Just like, how stupid of a power-up can we find? A Tanuki suit and things like that. And Elephant Mario does it for me. I got an honorable mention. Well, you go on who yours is. I don't want to steal your thunder. Maybe... Oh, yours is gonna be like fucking Peter Parker or something, dude. I'm gonna blow my brains out.
I mean, I like Peter Parker, but no, mine's Somi or Songbird from Phantom Liberty, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty.
Good, cool.
Yeah. She's like the main new character in the DLC aside from Idris Elba's character. She's wonderful. It's such a, she's the main driver. No, but she's the main driver.
Sex with Idris Elba?
No.
Okay.
No, she's the main driver behind like the DLC.
Can you do sex with? I'm just kidding.
And I just got an email. I just heard, I have like PTSD from my school email. Like ding, and I just heard it, and it kind of made me like freak out for a second. But
yeah, of course. When did I fuck up?
No, it wasn't you. It was on my side. She's the main driver of the DLC, and you learn things about her through the DLC that I don't know if I should spoil. Should I spoil it? Are you ever going to play it?
So here's the thing. Yeah, I probably will play it. I would spoil it if you feel like it's necessary to convey why she's character of the year, but I don't think that this is exactly a category
I'll do it.
that requires a spoiler.
Spoiling it. You start the DLC, and Somi just appears. She can almost like project herself. She's like a super hacker or whatever. And she hacks herself into your brain, and
she can... If you not spoil the ending of Cyberpunk though, regular vanilla.
Yeah, I won't spoil the regular Cyberpunk ending. I might spoil the Phantom Liberty ending, but maybe not. But she can interact with the relic that is damaged in your head. So she has the ability to turn off Johnny Silverhand. So she can turn off Johnny Silverhand, and at the start that's what convinces you to be like, oh, okay, well, if maybe she can save me, because this takes place during the chunk of Cyberpunk. It's not after Cyberpunk.
Right. So it's in between. It's in Act 2 or 3.
Yeah. So she's calling you, and she's like, "Hey, I need your help. I'm on Space Force 1," which I think is a really funny name, but it's pretty much she's like the right hand man or the right hand lady of the president, and their ship's going down. It's going down right in Dogtown, which is this area in Night City. So your job is to rescue her and the president, and it comes out and whatnot.
Bad enough dude to rescue the president?
Pretty much.
That's from a game called Bad Dudes.
But anyways, you meet her and she looks different than she looked in her projection. She is completely chromed out, like absolutely, like almost Atom Smasher level borged out. Is that a good cyberpunk
Ooh, like
term?
a fuckable cut of meat, are you?
Borged out. But as you progress through the story, you realize she has something wrong with her as well that you're trying to solve, and you have to choose help her or help someone else. And it's very conflicting decisions that I think make the story very interesting. And she's just really cool. You need to play Phantom Liberty. You will love Songbird.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm going to. And I think I'm actually happy with how I handled Cyberpunk because I dumped about 30 hours into it. I got to the start of Act 3. And I think with Phantom Liberty existing now, instead of just going there and having a few hours left to kind of romp through the ending of that game, I can go spend some time, do some side quests in the base game, throw the money down to get Phantom Liberty, play through the Phantom Liberty expansion, and then start looking at rolling credits on the full game. Yeah. And I'll probably be able to squeeze another 30 or 40 hours out of my Cyberpunk experience. So I'll probably hit that this summer, is my guess.
Yeah. And moving on into the DLC of the year.
Yeah.
Phantom Liberty is my DLC of the year.
Makes sense.
And the reason being it expands the base game. They did the 2.0 update right before the DLC, which I kind of see as the same pretty much.
It's I have a tough time with this category.
Okay. Yeah.
Because like in the same way, like, let me just kind of reveal mine and let's just kind of hash out this category a little bit. Like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed for me would be arguably my DLC of the year, but it's almost like not even DLC. Like it's its own, like that's on my game of the year list, and Phantom Liberty is on your game of the year list.
Yeah.
And I know, like, because we had that separate category of like download of the year, like it's almost like we need a way to redefine what this is. Like this is like maybe expansion of the year is the way to do this next year.
I do have a like a alternative for this category as well.
Same.
But the reason Phantom Liberty is my DLC of the year is it recontextualizes how you level up in the game, the whole leveling system and everything, and then it also adds new endings to the game, to the base game.
Cool.
And the new ending to the base game is possibly the most heartbreaking ending you could ever have. But yeah, Phantom Liberty is my DLC of the year. What is your DLC of the year? And then we'll get into our
Xenoblade Chronicles Future Redeemed, probably.
Yeah, okay.
Which is again, it's a top 5 game for me, but it is very much just like a standalone experience. Yeah, it's fucking insane how fan servicey it is without being just like a nostalgia pull. It does everything really tastefully, I think, as well. And it's just like, it's like a 30-40 hour experience that stands on its own as its own thing. You need to have played Xenoblade Chronicles 3. You need to at least understand Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. It is near perfection, but again, I think that we fix this up next year by doing like an expansion category and like a traditional DLC category. What was your more traditional pick?
God of War Ragnarok Valhalla.
Oh yeah, good pick. Yeah. Good pick.
Yeah, came in.
You played all the way through?
Played all the way through. Got all the trophies for it. I know a lot of people when this was announced were like, "Why do you need more Kratos? I thought they ended his story pretty well at the end of Ragnarok." Sony Santa Monica just knows what stories left to tell better than we do, and it is worth your time.
Yeah. Very good shit. Mine is I've got 2. Again, I think maybe blurring the lines between DLC being a standalone game and being an expansion is Fortnite Festival. Okay. You could make a case for Rocket Racing or for
it's hard because those are almost like Fortnite full games. Too.
I know, but they're inside Fortnite. Like it's crazy. But I think in particular, Fortnite Festival is something that is going to probably blow the fuck up in the next 2 years. I think it's going to be crazy though. Rock Band, Guitar Hero madness all over again.
Yeah, I think it will too. It's just like Fortnite, like on PC. If we look on PC, there's the Epic Games launcher, okay, and then you got to launch Fortnite, which is honestly its own launcher now for multiple different games.
Yeah,
and then you got to launch into a game. So you have to go through like 2 launchers to get to Fortnite.
Yeah, and then once you launch into Fortnite Festival, you launch into a lobby where you then have to go to a menu and select music.
Yeah, it's crazy. I need to play more of that.
It's so good.
Maybe.
And I think that when they start adding more music, and I think they're going to stick the landing really well. Like Fortnite has proven that they can really make splashes with their musical events. They have an audience that appreciates these concerts. The Travis Scott, the Eminem, the Ariana Grande, the Marshmello stuff, the emotes. You have the BTS emotes that sell literal millions of emotes. All kinds of different stuff where people are clearly willing to pay with their wallet if they appreciate that music because there is a use case for it in the video game. And giving an even better way to play and use that music, and then starting off with the Weekend collab, I can picture some really, really incredible. I mean, think about, dude, if in like 2026 there's a Taylor Swift event in Fortnite Festival, dude,
I will delete it. I will delete it.
I will buy it and become a gigantic Taylor Swift fan.
I hate Taylor Swift so much.
Oh, I can't imagine. I was a Kanye fan and I still like Taylor Swift. It's okay. It's just really good shit. And then my actual favorite DLC of the year, traditional DLC, is the Mario Kart 8 Booster Pass.
Wait, you just gave me 3 things.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm allowed to do whatever I want.
Oh, well, I want to give you another one then.
Sure, yeah. By all means. But let me first rant about the Mario Kart 8 Booster Pass. I adore that this 10-year-old game got such substantial DLC over the past year and a half. It culminated and it really felt like the end of an era. They doubled the amount of tracks in that game. They also gave us a better deal than we even expected. Not only was it a $25 pass for the 6 expansions, but they promised us tracks and they started dishing out characters towards the end. The last 3 packs each had different characters. I think an additional 8 characters all said and done in addition to it, and really breathed new life. Like, I played Mario Kart 8 more in 2023 than I did in 2020 through 2022 combined. You know, every time that they put out a new one, there was an excuse to hop back in with friends or on stream and play some more Mario Kart. And I think that especially for Nintendo with their evergreen games, I hope that this was a successful experiment for them, because they could very well do this with Smash Brothers Ultimate. You know, they said that it was over, but they could do a Wave 3 all of a sudden and breathe new life into that game. Will they do it with Smash Brothers? Probably not. But I could see them thinking a little bit more about the way that they release their games in the future with the idea of DLC with a 10-year plan. I don't know. I think it's interesting, and I think that we will look back fondly on the Mario Kart 8 Booster Pass being a sign of things to come in the future of Nintendo.
Yeah.
You had another one?
No, I don't actually have another one. You know I'm pretty averse to DLC for the most part. I don't really play much DLC. I did start Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores that I have not finished. But
I'm surprised you haven't finished that. Big fan.
Well, it was another problem of I was away when it came out and I was playing on this tiny TV and I want to play Horizon on my big OLED behind me and I've just never gotten around to it. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something you forgot about. Very broad category.
Yeah, it's very broad. Do you want to go first since I stole your thunder last time? Or?
I've got a pair. I've got a pair.
Okay.
The first one is Crash Team Rumble. I was so amped on this game. I ended up playing the beta more than I played the real game. This is like the third person platforming MOBA that should have been free to play from the start, but isn't, and will probably be dead within a year. I wish it was better. They actually almost got me back. I saw an ad. Their season 3 added Spyro into it, which is such a good idea.
I did see that.
But just like too little too late. It's good, it's ample, it does what it needs to do, but I don't know. I just think that there's something about it. Like, I can't get any of my friends to play this game. I can't find anyone that's shelling out. Same problem I have with Sonic Superstars. I can't find 3 other people that are willing to pay $60 to play this game with me online. Like, Sonic Superstars not even online, but
I was about to say,
Crash Team Rumble was a little bit dead on arrival. And then I've got another one, but let's go back and forth.
Mine is Season A Letter to the Future. You remember that game? Great
fucking pull.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite games at the start of the year, and then as time went on, other games just surpassed it, and it slipped off my list at some point, and I just forgot about it. It was a good game. It was really chill, really vibey, and I just forgot. You know, it's
mine's Diablo 4. but it's almost like a game that I didn't forget about. I just kind of wanted to insult Diablo 4 somewhere.
That's fair.
Like, I don't know. It's fine. It just came and went so much faster. And Blizzard games traditionally are something that I'm so happy to have installed on my hard drive and go back to every once in a while. And I just played that game for a couple weeks, and since then have just fallen off and had zero interest in jumping back in.
Same, honestly, yeah. Yeah, I'm still pissed at that game because I bought the edition where you get like 3 days early access, and then you get the free season pass, like first season pass. And there was a bug where when I would go to start a new character for the season, like for the season pass, it would just crash my game, like hard crash it to the dashboard. So I never got to play the season because of a bug that I paid for. It was so annoying.
That sucks.
Yeah, horrible.
You should write an angry letter.
You know, is what it is.
Talk about the best boss fight.
Do we have the same answer for this one?
Probably.
Do we want to go on 3?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Titan from Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, dude, because it's fucking nuts, man. It's truly a modern goddamn marvel. This boss fight is insane. Shout out to Boss Fights database on YouTube that I'm stealing this footage from. For the video version, of course. The scale of this fight is insane. The music of this fight is insane. Honorable mention to the Odin fight. No, not Odin. Bahamut fight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, pacing issues in... Yeah, nice. The fucking soundtrack to that game is ridiculous, but more on best song soon. But Titan Lost, the song that has like the crazy like throat singing country style rap in it, like...
Oh, wait, really? I don't even remember that.
That's just Dracula. Hold on. It's really good. Titan Lost is we'll get to our best song and it's in there for sure, but we will cross that bridge as it comes. I just gotta say, the Titan fight, the way that fight escalates. Is it the third Titan that we fight?
You mean
second.
The third icon?
Icon, sorry, summon or whatever.
It's the second, I think. Well, technically third.
The first one is Garuda.
The first one, well, technically the first one
it's Phoenix.
Yeah, it's the Phoenix.
And Ifrit, you're right. And then it's Garuda, and then it's this. I believe it's this.
And then it's Titan, yeah.
And it just the way that this fight escalates, and you get a little bit of it in the other two fights, but this is the first one that has just like, it's like a 4-phase fight, I think, if you're really going to narrow it down. But the way that each one escalates to the point of, it's the first time I think we have the transformation from Ifrit as well to become like Ifrit Lost or whatever.
I'll be honest, it was a tight race between this one and Bahamut because you literally fight Bahamut in space. Like
Bahamut escalates crazy.
Like it's something else. They're both amazing boss fights that make me want to revisit Final Fantasy 16.
Go find the YouTube cut of like, even if you're not gonna play Final Fantasy 16, go watch this boss fight. It's a literal 35-minute boss fight, and it is the most cinematic boss fight in history. There's all sorts of QTEs and actual combat, and it is just absolutely insane. Yeah,
I'm watching the video right now, and I hate all the little animations that they have on the side of the screens during the QTEs. They're so distracting. I wish they would get rid of those.
Like my Japanese animes.
I just don't. You don't even watch anime.
I don't care.
Okay. Well, anyways, it's a great fight. It's a great fight.
Still cool.
It makes me want to revisit Final Fantasy 16. Yeah. Also, runner-up for this was also just the Venom fight in Spider-Man 2. I thought that was really fun.
Pretty good. Yeah. I think it suffers a little bit from
success.
It's more fun to... Spoilers for Spider-Man 2. 15 seconds. It's more fun to play as Venom right after than it is to fight Venom.
Just wait for that upcoming game.
No, I don't know. Let's move on to our least favorite thing.
Yeah, what do you
got? My Japanese animes. I fucking hate Fire Emblem Engage. The story, particularly of Fire Emblem Engage. Yeah, and I was so hot on the previous Fire Emblem game that I was so excited for.
Three Houses was so good.
That game fucks, man. It's so good. And it's just like so much of a better story. Like Fire Emblem Three Houses is about like political drama and like the landscape of a world with like kingdoms that are feuding. And Fire Emblem Engage is about how hard it is to be a dragon girl. Like,
is that really, like, I know nothing about the story of
yeah,
Fire Emblem Engage.
Pretty much. It's just extremely anime pilled. It's got some of the worst fucking whiny children characters right off the bat that are integral to the story. Your dragon mom dies at the start. The game fucking sucks. It made it unplayable. And there's a whole camp of people that are staunchly disagreeing with me right now. They're like, Engage is the best Fire Emblem in years. It's the same losers that like Fire Emblem Fates. I'm just kidding. All right, but listen, it's just not for me, man. I don't know. That's the Fire Emblem I don't like.
I don't know if anybody thinks Fire Emblem Engage is the best Fire Emblem. Like,
I think there's some people that do.
Oh, that's tough. The only reason I didn't play it, well, not the only reason, but the main reason I didn't play it is because your character looks like a Pepsi, like mascot.
Yeah, Pepsi-chan.
I hate that. I absolutely hate that. It's such an obnoxious character design. Like, at least let me customize them or something. That's horrible.
There's I did like that when I was playing it. I was playing it when I was on vacation, so I was taking like screen caps of it to share my experience with stream. And when I came back and I was sharing them, I had all of these screen caps because I named my character Pepsi of like people in the game saying things and then calling me by my name and having it look like it was like misconstrued. It's like, here, take a break. Pepsi. Like Pepsi. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I have one last gift for you. Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Oh yeah, my favorite gift.
My least favorite thing is very specific. It's in Jusant. Okay. Let's complain about Jusant some more. So you know how when you're when there's like a press or like a hold to interact prompt in video games, lots of times you'll hold square and there will be like an outside outline that progresses like clockwise.
Sure.
And whenever it goes all the way clockwise, then it skips or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Jusant's icon goes counterclockwise. And it's so weird because it'll be like press square to interact, and I'll be pressing and holding square and it'll start going counterclockwise, and I hate it. I just hate it. It's a very like nitpicky
That's a good nitpicky thing though. I like that. That's why I like this category a lot.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it so much. Why did they just make it count like normal clockwise like everyone else? I don't know. It's the
Very
French,
good.
man. Freaking French.
All right. That's a joke, everybody. The next thing is I'm really excited. This is a new category that we didn't have last year. And I'm excited to get into the hypest announcement.
Do we have the same answer?
I doubt it. I highly doubt it, actually, because I have three. No, I have two. Well, I probably have more because I'm probably going to be super hyped off of whatever you fucking say, too.
Okay. Sure.
I don't
know.
You
go first then.
Okay. So
I chose one because I thought that's what the rules were. Would only choose one thing.
Well, yeah, but you can have like honorable mentions or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all fun. Rules are made up.
We make the rules around here anyway. So.
Yeah. The answer for if I have to pick one, my final actual answer is probably trailer 3, aka the final trailer, aka the launch trailer for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It was that February trailer before the launch of the game that had just the craziest shit going on. The reveal of Ganondorf in full with like oh my god, we're watching it right now.
That was a really good trailer. I remember exactly where I was when I watched that trailer. I was in Chattanooga at a hospital working, and it was my lunch break, and I had KFC, and I was sitting in my car when the trailer dropped. So I watched that trailer on my car with the audio hooked up to like Bluetooth on my car, and the audio lags by like half a second. So I was watching it with the audio lag. It was a great trailer. It was a good trailer.
It really is, and it shows quite a bit in this trailer as well.
It does, yeah.
But without context, it's not that spoilery. It's great to watch in retrospect as well. But the trailer goes places. It tells a story and has so many incredible scenes. It really stands up too. Like if you haven't watched this trailer since like May or June, I encourage you to take 4 minutes and watch it again, because I do firmly believe it is one of the best video game trailers of all time. from the music design to the gameplay that it showcases for the first time, I think it is like a masterclass in how to get people hyped. And it was what a great trailer for like, it's the trailer that was picked apart most this year, and I think there's always something to appreciate with that, of like when the YouTubers put out their 3-hour.
Well, I mean, you know, Zelda freaks will always pick stuff apart, so
You're damn right. Like, who's the most babed out character, and why is it Tifa?
What is that? The
Zelda
fish one?
What? I don't know. Anyway, what's your favorite?
My favorite announcement is they announced that there are going to be no more Zelda games like Tears of the Kingdom. No, I'm joking.
Fuck out of here.
That was an announcement this year, though. That's my honorable mention. My favorite announcement was Blade by Arcane at the Game Awards.
Oh yeah, you thought that was gonna be my favorite, bro? Wasn't my favorite at the show.
I don't know. I thought it was definitely the best announcement this year. So
yeah, you were in the building.
There were also lots of other. I was in the building for it.
Yeah.
You know, I was also in the building for the initial Alan Wake 2 announcement, which was amazing. And then I came back 2 years later when it won all the awards. It's a full circle
about this a little
moment.
bit on the last episode of GameList proper, because we recapped all the Game Awards stuff, but I think they did a great job of doing this trailer reveal. When you watch this trailer now, the title cards and the accolades at the front of the trailer are positioned in such a way that they were not for its initial reveal, where when it had its reveal, you were kind of piecing together like, what is this?
Yeah,
what
this was a franchise? Cold open.
Yeah, really, really nice. Now it opens and you have the Marvel banner and you click on it and it says Blade, and like you didn't picture it until you were halfway through the trailer and you go, is this fucking Blade?
Also, I didn't realize it was Blade until near the end. But I knew right off the rip it was Arcane because their art style is so.
Yeah, there was a point where I was like, "Is this fucking Redfall?" It's bold of Arcane to be following up with a
I was like,
vampire game, bro.
Is this like a Redfall 2.0 thing or something? I was very surprised that it was Blade at the end. But just so y'all know that this is made by a French studio, so actually I love the French. You know, Arcane. It's Arcane Lyon that's working on this. So with Dinga Bakaba, I believe is the way you pronounce his name. I hope I didn't.
That sounds right.
I hope I didn't.
Let's talk about my honorable mention, and that is the Nintendo Direct in June, the one that directly followed the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom release. And it had a bunch of bangers, no doubt, but this was the one for the Mario fans, because this one ended with Mario Wonder's announcement and release date of this year. So we saw Elephant Mario for the first time. It was everyone's first time hearing Wowie Zowie and all that. But in that same one, they announced the remake of Mario RPG. They announced the new Wario game, and they announced the Luigi's Mansion 2.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It was just a crazy block of first-party Nintendo fan servicey stuff for people that have Mario posters on their wall. They left that thing really reeling. I had a great time. Fun reaction stream too. You got anything for honorable mentions?
I didn't. I mean, the No More Zelda like Tears of the Kingdom is a good honorable mention.
Okay. Let's talk about. I don't really hey, let's do this. We're gonna try to bring music into this thing, and our next category is the best song. So let's have this conversation about the songs and why they're important. I'll do my best to feed this audio into both the video and the audio versions of this podcast, so that hopefully you guys can listen along to.
Yeah, and my plan is, if you screw it up somehow, I'll just edit in the songs on the audio version as well. So the audio version, you'll be getting them well. But so I actually have. Did you just pick one? Because I have a couple.
I got a couple.
Okay, cool. I'm going to send you. You already know my one, right?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll send them to you then.
Just tell me what they are, and I'll pull them up as we talk about them.
Oh, okay. Well, number one is Herald of Darkness from Alan Wake 2. It is the song that plays during We Sing.
Should have known that.
Yeah, and it is an absolute just banger of a song. It's like 12 minutes long or something, so we're gonna listen to the whole thing right now. No, we're not. And
certainly not. It is playing right now while you talk.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna be quiet.
You can talk.
Okay. Wait, you barely even play. You know what? It's okay. The audio
It's still
people.
playing. It's still playing. It's under. It's under you.
So it not only is super hyped during the moment of playing Alan Wake, but as you listen to the song after you finish the game, you start to piece together lyrics that are telling a much wider story and actually telling you like what's gonna happen in Alan Wake, and it answers questions that you have at the end of the game. It is another example of Sam Lake using multimedia to tell a story that not only do they have a cool song that sounds nice, but it's also very important to the story itself.
Sure. I like it.
Yeah. What's yours?
Let me fade out that okay song, and let me play the song that we were talking about. This is Titan Lost from Final Fantasy 16, playing during the Titan boss fight. It's wild, and I think what I really like about this song is that it does the same thing that Final Fantasy 14 does, and this is Soken is the composer for that soundtrack, or puts all that shit together, where the first time playing a couple Final Fantasy 14 boss fights, I was like, how is this the music that they've chosen for a Final Fantasy video game, for a Final Fantasy boss fight? It doesn't sound like anything I've ever heard in a Final Fantasy game, yet it still fits so perfectly. It's very, very impressive. I loved Titan Lost, and it's just one section of the entire thing. Colin's over here on the side sending me Oppenheimer music, which I'm not playing. We'll get fucking flagged for that.
Oh, no, it'll be fine.
No, it won't.
Oh, no, it'll be fine.
Okay. We're not gonna play. That's the best song is from video games. It's not from multimedia.
Oh wow. Okay, now you impose fake rules that we didn't talk about before. Okay.
You're up. What you got?
I have Can You Hear the Music from Oppenheimer.
Get the fuck out of here. You go look that up yourselves. Also banger, no doubt.
No, I have another song from the end of Cyberpunk.
Right. What's it called?
I'll be honest, I don't know if it's the name or if it's the artist, because it's like Polish, but I think it's called P.T. Adams.
No, that's a person. I believe it's called Phantom Liberty. I think it's the title track for this for the expansion. Here we go.
That would make sense then. Yeah.
Is it very slow?
I don't know. Are you?
I'm gonna push it forward a little bit. Okay. Ooh, it's got some triumphant vibes there too. Not bad. All right. Anything to say about it? Just like it.
No, I just love the song. It plays as you wrap the credits for Phantom Liberty, so it's when you're like really in your feels. So it really gets here. Also, it should be noted, I'll be adding these like different. There will be links to these songs in both like the Spotify, descriptions and whatnot, as well as more of an edited version. So if you hear a couple jumps between when we're talking over it, when we're recording it live, there will be like a more clean version playing directly after. So that's why it's kind of funky on the audio version.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's your next sense? So this is an interesting one. Let me pull down your music real quick, and then I want to play a song that happens very early in Tia. It's a really simple song, and it starts off mostly a cappella, and it's Chia playing music with her father. and it's a song that has Chia's name in it as well, and it's all in a different language.
Chia.
Yeah, exactly. You play along with the music as well, which is really interesting, and there are subtitled lyrics for it. But what happens in this game is that there's progression to this kind of upbeat song that he's singing for his daughter. And now spoilers on for Chia, big spoilers on for Chia. What happens is this beautiful little song that is kind of uplifting and a little bit triumphant is sung by her father to her, and they're the only two members of their family, presumably. And then later on in the story, you are revealed. Did you get far enough to meet Chia's mother?
No, I thought she was dead.
You gotta finish Chia, man. And I'm sorry to do this to you, but what transpires is a series of events that leads to the death of Chia's father in the game. Yeah, super sad. And at that point, you've been working with this mysterious masked woman who, you know, you probably assume is probably Chia's mom, right? But the way that it's revealed is Chia, in her lowest moment in the story, comes back to the woman that's been helping her on her quest to save her father, crying miserable that her father died. And the mother reveals herself to be part of her family. Obviously, she takes off the mask that she's been wearing, and then, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking cry talking about this. The mother sings the same song that father sings at the beginning of the game, but it's a different rendition of it, and it's so fucking sad in the different context, because the way that she sings it is like the, you know, I don't know much for music theory, but like the inverse. It's half of a harmony essentially that's now missing, because the father's half isn't there, and it's the more somber, sadder half. And with a different context, it hits so fucking hard. It's absolutely unbelievable, and for me, far and away the best song of the fucking year.
Wait, did they explain why Chia's mother was absent?
Yeah, you gotta, dude. Chia goes
She's
fucking
just a
places.
bad mom?
No, you gotta watch it. Oh, you gotta play it, and you can bang that out in like 2 hours from where you're at. It's so fucking good, and you don't even know half of the spoilers in the game. I spoiled an emotional moment, but I did not spoil the game for you, 100%. And you gotta hear that version of the song. It's unreal to get to that point. Awesome. And it, honestly, like that song in that moment is like one of the probably reasons why that game is so high up on my list. Game of the year. But there's other great moments too that also absolutely devastate me. Holy shit. What a game. All right. We're leaving best song behind us, and we're moving into our final category. The best game. That's just not for me. And I'm sorry, my friends, that my winner is. You want to say it? You want me to say
Chance of Sinar?
It's Chance of Sinar. I tried. I gave it an honest shake. I wanted to be into it. I really did. And I went in there trying to figure it out, and I had a really fun time in the first 20 minutes, and I had a really bad time in the last 30 minutes. That game, that's a thinking man's game, and I'm not much of a thinking man. I was very lost, and I did not like the unpredictability of like being unsure of what words were, and I found that I was kind of like, my wires were getting crossed because I wasn't sure of like what I had slotted in there. I felt like I was making a ripple effect of mistakes of like, I got this word wrong at the start, and now because I have that word wrong, this person is talking to me in a language, and I made the mistake of assuming that the first word was right, and the second word that's maybe related to it is now not right either, because I thought that they were tied in.
Did you never make it to the part where you get the journal that confirms words?
Yeah, but I didn't know that it confirmed it. It was just like,
yeah, if you go to the journal, you can slot things in. Like if you think this, like if it shows a page, wrong? No, you can, but once you get all of them right on the page, it confirms it. And then,
buddy, I didn't fill a page.
Well, it's like there are some pages that have like three things. One of them's like opening a door. One of them's closing a door. One of them's like a chandelier.
Oh, I thought that was up and down.
So if you slot all three of those, then it goes like shink shink shink, and it locks those words in.
The VOD's on YouTube if you want to see how badly I did.
I don't. It'll hurt me.
It will. You hate the way that I play games. You will despise the way that I play that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But Unfortunately for you, best game is just not for me. Chia is my best game. It's just not for me. I think it's probably a wonderful game, and I've had an okay time with it so far, but just doesn't do it for me so far. I don't know.
I think I encourage you. I feel like you like enough of Chia to, if you just have one night, and like we were talking about Venba, if you have 2 hours to give Chia again to just mainline the story and get there and just see how that game plays out, I think that it can be for you. But I don't recommend playing it the way that you would play your standard Assassin's Creed game the way that you do. And I get that it's tough to do because it is an open world game that lends itself to that. But like, the game doesn't have much combat. It doesn't have much variety as far as like anything outside of traversal. So what can you do? You can't win them all. All right,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Look at us go. You want to run down our final game of the year list? Now, here's the deal. This is the easy part of the podcast.
I do, but I want to insult Tears of the Kingdom just a few more times so we can get into another shouting match.
Perfect.
Link's too small. He needs to be bigger.
Link is too small?
Yep. Just a little guy.
Weird.
Yep.
Weird take.
Biggest complaint with the game. Yep.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. So the idea of this podcast, again, to reiterate, this is very matter of fact. This is just final placement for games that we have talked about in depth forever. Everyone else's conversations about this is a 4-hour knockdown, drag out fight. We got less than 15 minutes left of this podcast to finish it completely. Because we've already had these conversations. We've hashed out where they place on our list. Things might have moved a spot or two or been rearranged or replaced, but nonetheless, you guys have a firm idea. And if you're not positive, you were hoping for, a longer conversation, we've got
season 2 finale.
60 hours. Yeah, exactly. We're going through our games of the year, and we'll do it the incorrect way too, because we can do it that way. We are enabled. All right, I will run through my game. I'll do my top 5, and then you can do your top 5, and then we'll do it like that, and we'll run all the way down to 20. Does that work for you?
Absolutely.
Perfect. My number 1 game of the year is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Number 2 is Chia. Number 3, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Number 4, Xenoblade Future Redeemed. And number 5, Spider-Man 2.
I feel like Spider-Man 2 is high for you.
I really liked my time with Spider-Man 2, and I think I would have liked it less if I would have continued my
That's fair.
run. Like I had a fun 22 hours in Spider-Man 2, and I never want to touch that game again.
Fair enough.
Page turner, baby.
Yeah, my number 1 game of the year, undeniably, Alan Wake 2. Just
the champions of light. The hero of darkness, lost in a never-ending night.
Anyways, great game. Number 2, Spider-Man 2, and I want to take this moment to correct myself about a mistake in a past podcast. Okay, I was talking about how Alan Wake 2 had clopidogrel and the correct dosing and everything, and I said, I compared it to Spider-Man 2 showing salbutamol, which is a beta 2. Hold on. It's a beta 2 agonist, short acting beta 2 agonist. Except I don't think salbutamol is. I don't know. But that was the problem. Is I said it was a fake drug. It is a real drug, okay? And I found this out as I was reading a trial the other day. Salbutamol is a real drug. I just never see it. It's a short-acting beta-2 agonist that was used correctly in the game, and Allie's over there laughing at me right now. Anyways, Spider-Man did a great job. It's a real drug, and they got the chemical formula correct. So I want to correct myself on that.
As always,
Sorry,
do take your medical advice from a non-gaming podcast. Only take it from medical podcasts.
Yeah. Let me direct you to my other side project.
Perfect.
Number 3, Hogwarts Legacy. What a magical game. What a magical experience.
For sure.
Number 4, in a similar vein of weirdness to Alan Wake 2, Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals. It's just a weirdo game, and I love it. And then number 5, Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Nice. Number 6 for me is Pikmin 4, a late edition, a game that I almost let pass me by, and I'm so glad that I didn't. Number 7, I switched out. This is our first time, I think, slotting this in. Sonic Dream Team, the iOS exclusive Apple Arcade game. Don't skip it if you have the ability to play it. Grab a controller, put it on your TV. Really good stuff. Street Fighter 6, the best fighting video game in a very long time. Hogwarts Legacy for me, number 9. Assassin's Creed Mirage, number 10.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Number 6, Cyberpunk. I just burped. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. I've platinumed that game twice now. I spent like 70 hours with it this year.
Gross.
Number 7, Chants of Sinar. One of the best puzzle games I've ever played, and I hate puzzle games. It made me want to learn a language. Number 8, Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's just been a while since we've had a good Assassin's Creed, a good short Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, the best racing game, the Crew Motorfest. What a delight that game was. Just an absolute delight. And number 10, the best social experience of the year, Lethal Company. I've only played that game for like 10 hours, but it was the most fun I've had with some of my friends this year.
It's the next Among Us.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately.
All right, let's talk about just rifle these off. Don't go into like a bullet explanation or anything like that. You got other podcasts in which you can hear more about these if you so desire. I'm just gonna bang out my 11 through 20. So number 11 for me is Starfield. Number 12, Theorem Final Bar Line. Number 13, Final Fantasy 16. Number 14, Sonic Superstars. 15, Venba. 16, F-Zero 99. 17, Jedi Survivor. 18, Modern Warfare 3. 19, The Crew Motorfest. 20, Marble It Up Ultra.
My number 11, Dead Island 2. Don't sleep on it. 12, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. 13, also it should be noted, as much as I give crap to Zelda, I actually enjoyed it. It was pretty good. I just enjoyed arguing
a fucking
insult. 13, Dredge. 14, Resident Evil 4. 15, Fort Solis. 16, Final Fantasy 16. I didn't realize that. 17, Dead Space Remake. 18, Destiny 2 Lightfall. 19, Modern Warfare 3. And 20, Shadow Gambit, The Cursed Crew.
Good shit. Now, let's get into our honorable mentions and our stinkers.
Yeah. And
these
our stinkers.
Always a nice fun one, I feel like, to just kind of again, we can just kind of rattle these off, I feel like, but for the honorable mentions, they're ones that we haven't recapped in our top 20 for quite a while. So you might hear some things that you haven't heard for a little bit, but I got Metroid Prime Remastered. That's on your list somewhere or no?
It's an honorable mention.
Oh, okay. Sorry, spoilers. Tren, the game inside Dreams, a little puzzle game.
Yeah, I want to play that.
Really dope. Hi-Fi Rush. I owed that game more time. I did not complete it, but I like it and I will someday.
I'm under the impression that Janet Garcia said nobody would care about it if it wasn't a shadow drop. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I don't know. I think some people would, less people would. We love Katamari Reroll, the remake of Katamari 2, basically sequel to Katamari Damacy, PS2 original, that has the first brand new Katamari levels in like more than a decade. Really dope.
That's crazy.
Cocoon. I think you'd like this game. I mean, I didn't really
probably
talk about it much. Forza Motorsport, ample. If you want sim racing, Forza Motorsport's great. Return to Moria. You know this game?
Please address it by its full name. Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Return to Moria.
Lord of Ring Gollum.
Lord of Ring Gollum. That was so funny.
Viewfinder. I feel sometimes I wonder if like Viewfinder's in my honorable mentions, but also it might be like my 6th favorite game of the year. But I don't know. I don't know. I think that Viewfinder is like, on paper and in practice, the main hook of Viewfinder is just the coolest thing that's ever existed. But also, I don't love the game.
Yeah, that's what I get the impression from most outlets is it was good, but it doesn't really. I don't know. I don't want to say it didn't stick the landing, but people just kind of.
You just want to compare it to Portal. Yeah. Suika game. Watermelon game. What you got?
My honorable mentions. Some of these honestly could very easily go into stinkers, but
I made
Atomic
an on
Heart.
the fly move to stinkers.
Yeah, Atomic Heart, or is it Atomic Hearts? I don't know.
Heart singular.
Metroid Prime Remastered.
Yeah.
Forspoken.
Oh, that's a miss. I gotta retroactively add that to best game I didn't play. I bet I love Forspoken.
You probably would, honestly.
Yeah. I tried to buy it. They had it on sale for $17 during the holiday season at GameStop, but my GameStop didn't have it.
Oh, dude, you want to know what I just bought from GameStop today? They had like nerdy Christmas
Funko
sweaters
Pop?
on sale for $5 each. So I got 3 like ugly nerdy Christmas sweaters.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Armored Core 6, or as I like to call it, Armid Core 6 out of 10.
Nice. Got him.
Diablo 4, Jusant, and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora are all honorable mentions. And there are others that I've just forgotten to put in the honorable mentions category. But
why don't you do your stinkers? Because I'm looking at yours and I'm already like, I think one of them's going to age poorly.
Oh, you think so? Okay, that's fine. I think you aged poorly, but
I have.
God, dude, people. If somebody new is listening to this podcast, they're gonna think that we hate each other.
I know, yeah, for sure.
Starfield is one of my stinkers. I think that is one of the biggest letdowns that Bethesda could have put out. And my other one is Lies of P. I enjoyed parts of it, but man, it really pissed me off at other parts. So
yeah, Lies of P was like this game that like every time I put Lies of P, like we have a game, we have our game list is literally a shared Excel document, right? Like it's a big fucking mess. And if I actually showed it to you, we would be canceled because we say crazy things to each other via a non-linear way of communicating. But every time we put on like, we have like 2 columns. It's like January 2023 games played and then January games played. So you can put like the games, the new releases that you played in that last month, games that are contenders for perhaps making the game list, and then like just what you've been playing, anything that you want to talk about on the podcast. And from like June to September, Colin put fucking Lies of P on the column of like, I want to talk about Lies of P every time. And every time we get there, I always challenge him. I'm like, do you have anything new to say about Battlefields? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, I'm deleting Battlefield. Or like, if it were Lies of P, it was only like 3 months in a row, and I was like, do you have anything new to say? He goes, yeah. Like every time your experience with Lies of P got more and more sour and negative throughout the year. Yeah, it was so funny to watch that progress. Like if you ever re-listen to a season of Game List, I feel like the actual progression of you growing to fucking hate Lies of P, the game that was maybe like the easiest shoe-in.
It makes me sad because like everybody's like, oh, dude, Lies of P is the best Souls game not made by FromSoft, and I'm like,
yeah.
Actually, Lies of P really just pisses me off. Like, there's just whatever. What you know what? Fine, sure. Pinocchio, whatever.
Yeah.
Starfield. I want to say my complaints with Starfield.
Sure, this is what I think is gonna age like milk, because I think Starfield's about to be on the come up, bro.
Maybe. I hope so. I hope it's on the come up. But here's the thing: when Cyberpunk came out and you were insulting it, I don't think your comments aged like milk because it sucked in certain areas when it came out. Okay,
I think Starfield's a better experience in its first 4 months than Cyberpunk was in its first 4 months.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
no,
it's
listen,
playable, bro.
Half of my playtime in Starfield was going through loading screens.
Wait, you're right. You know what? They pulled Starfield from the Xbox Marketplace for a couple months.
That doesn't matter. I played it.
Right. They didn't do that. That happened. Happened to Cyberpunk, bro.
Let's see this. Okay, I'm gonna travel from one side of Cyberpunk's map to the other. Okay, I pull up the map.
Oh, sorry, your game crashed. Oh, sorry, no, you're gonna have to do that again.
All right, let's see.
Oh, your save data is corrupted. Your save data is corrupted. Please start from the beginning.
I'm gonna fast travel from somewhere.
Oh, sorry. This no longer reads.
Okay, I want to go to the Alpha Centauri system, and I'm on Earth. Okay, let me open up my map and fast travel to my ship. Okay, let me go inside my ship. Another load screen. Let me pull up the map to fast travel to a different star system. Another load screen. Let me land outside.
No, sorry, you actually can't take off. You can't take off right now. You're overbearing. You're overloaded.
Yeah, literally. And then
stand up.
And then let me float outside of this planet and then pick a place on the planet to land. Another load screen. Let me leave my ship. Another load screen.
There's some really questionable design decisions. Without a doubt.
Everything good about Bethesda games was taken away from Starfield. The best thing about Bethesda games is walking from Whiterun to Solitude and experiencing things between that. Starfield got rid of all that and replaced it with load screens.
As somebody that likes a linear, streamlined experience, it was the Bethesda game that's probably most for me. that I enjoyed the most. I had a good time romping through that game, and I think a lot of the complaints will be fixed via patches. And I think that within Bethesda, the term cyberpunk is being thrown around left and right. And I think 2 or 3 years from now,
I hope it
a much
is
nicer product.
Listen, if they patch it and I return in 2 to 3 years, I will have different opinions then. But my opinions now stand. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fair.
I spent 20 hours with this game, beat it, and was glad it was done because it ran like crap and it was just kind of boring. It was kind of boring.
Yeah.
And the 1,000 planet thing is just ridiculous and stupid.
Oh my God, there's 6 planets for all I care.
That's true.
Stinkers, most of them I've already addressed why they're stinky in this. Diablo 4 is one, Fire Emblem Engage is one, Crash Team Rumble is one, and then the one that I haven't talked about is Disney Speedstorm, which I talked about a long time ago, but my reason for that game being a stinker this year is on the heels of Disney Dreamlight Valley, which was also made by Gameloft and was also planned to be free to play, although those plans have changed. Speedstorm came out, and although it had good racing bones, it is just plagued with microtransactions to the point of it being such a mess that it never has the chance to actually be a game that is respected as a video game. It will always just be essentially a gotcha fest, which is really unfortunate for a game that plays as well as it does. What do you think your game of the year is going to be in 2024?
I would not be surprised if it was like Dragon's Dogma or Star Wars, honestly.
I think mine will probably be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I'm actually probably more.
Yeah.
I'm probably more. I mean, in 2020, it's 7 Remake with a bullet. You know, like it's not close how much I adore that game, and because Remake or Rebirth is such a dead-on sequel to Remake, and knowing how much I already love Remake, and we're just going to embellish it and go further with it, just probably makes it a layup for. I could picture something coming out, and really like my big question would be like I could see something first-party Nintendo. I think that a really good prediction for 2024 is one of my top 3 games of the year. I don't know that it exists yet, and it's a Nintendo title potentially for a system that's not out yet. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah.
Like we could get like that Mario 3D platformer or Donkey Kong 3D platformer or some definitive edition of Smash Brothers or Mario Kart or something like that ends up just being an absolute banger for the Nintendo Switch 2 and Super Nintendo Switch, whatever they decide to Switch U, Nintendo Switch U.
No, absolutely. They will not do that. I hope they don't do that.
The other thing that could happen would be like some kind of a hidden indie AA gem like an Outer Wilds that comes out and just a profound gaming experience, something like a Before Your Eyes or something that just really hits me or resonates in a way that makes me boost it up to the top. You got any other 2024 predictions for like GameList or like favorite games of the year? Or?
Honestly, I don't know the lineup.
You made
for
a good
next
one
year that well.
Nobody does is the thing, is that you know, it's maybe for being in January of 2024, we have the least idea of what 2024 looks like for games. Or the other fear is that we do have a good idea of what it looks like, and it's extremely light. It's always going to be tough because you have to follow 2023, one of arguably the best years ever for video games, with another year of video games. Chances of it being even close to 2023.
Banisher's Ghost of New Eden. I'm excited about that. Shut up. A Pacific Drive. Pacific Drive.
Yeah. Pacific Drive is gonna be great.
Brothers Tale of Two Sons remake.
Mm-hmm.
I've
got a pretty comprehensive list for things that are actually dated. We don't have any confirmed dates for anything notable past April, essentially, but it's basically Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown on January 18th, Last of Us Part 2 Remaster on the 19th, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth on the same day as Tekken 8 on the 26th. On February 2nd, there's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That might be game of the year. Same day as Persona 3 Reload, which I think actually has a shot. That could be on a lot of people's game of the year list. You think so?
Oh, absolutely. Easy.
Yeah.
Persona people are crazy about Persona. Yeah.
The 8th is Helldivers 2. The 14th is Tomb Raider Trilogy. 16th is Skull and Bones, same day as the Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake reboot. The 22nd is Pacific Drive. 28th is Brothers Tale of Two Sons remakes. 29 on Leap Day, February 29th is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And then March 22nd is a pretty crazy day. It is Dragon's Dogma 2, Rise of Ronin, and Princess Peach Showtime all at once.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
Some of my most anticipated for next year as well. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga.
That game sucks, bro.
Their Silent Hill 2 remake.
Oh yeah.
Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl.
Ooh, Stellar Blade comes to mind.
Stellar Blade, yep. They're like I said, Helldivers 2. There's I think their next year is going to be a good year, but compared to 2023,
do you think what is the Outer Worlds but Skyrim? Avowed? Do you think that drops in 2024?
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like that one could sneak out in November and be like Xbox's big, that could be their Starfield this year.
It's possible.
Could be their.
You know what else comes out next year? You remember 33 Immortals? That comes out next year.
Oh yeah, this year. Yeah, that's gonna drop in July or something and be probably pretty good.
Yeah, probably. That'll be a good one. I think it'll be a good year. Honestly, dude, I don't even know anymore. I give up trying to guess Silk Song.
It's like annoying. It's like not. It's past the point of being funny at this point. Of like just fucking announce understand marketing for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. The Plucky Squire.
Great pull.
Yeah, there's lots of good stuff coming out next year. Well, it's going to be another good year, but honestly, if it's a kind of a quiet year, I don't think I'll be that mad because I've got so much to catch up on.
We'll have no problem being in the top 20, nonetheless. We're out there gaming.
Easy.
That's for sure. What about closing for GameList? You got any hopes for the show in 2024?
I don't know, man. I just enjoy talking about games. I like having the opportunity to do this. I think for 2024, I would like for us to get probably more people in here.
I agree.
It's kind of more of a back end thing.
That would be a huge one.
Yeah, getting more people in here.
I like to collaborate with some other podcasts. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, same deal.
Yeah.
I think we did a good job. Shout out to Tactical Dreamer and Captain Stubbs for coming on the show and being guests this year. Last year we had Freight Train, which was nice to have some people from the community, and we talked about doing some stuff with segments. Could we just get somebody on? But in the long run, that's just a logistical nightmare. If we're gonna have somebody on, they should be on for the whole show and be able to speak to it. But to be honest, it's hard to find people that, not to toot our own horns, but let's do it a little bit, that understand the gaming industry like we do, that are not actual professionals. We're kind of in this club, but there are other podcasts that are about our size, if not a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, that I think we could reach out to and try to make it happen. So if you listen to this, hey, listen, if you listen to this podcast, and even if you're not a streamer or a podcaster or something, and you have a voice that you feel like would make sense for the show, can you just let us know? You can come on for an episode.
Reach out,
Speaking of that, I have some people from the community that reached out with some of their games of the year that I wanted to shout out.
I do too.
Yeah, let's do that. I posted in the Discord, and I had a couple really nice ones. I got some that were just lists, and I got some that had some flavor to them, where they gave us a little bit of background. So I'll be quick, but Brother Man threw up. Number 1 was Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Number 2, Mario Brothers Wonder. Number 3, Resident Evil 4 Remake. Number 4, Lord of the Rings Gollum. Okay. Number 5, Mario RPG. Number 6, Alan Wake 2. Number 7, Spider-Man 2. Number 8, Starfield. Number 9, Metroid Prime Remastered. Number 10, Advance Wars 1 and 2. That's a game that I missed. I should have had that on my list.
Yeah, I missed that as well. I want to do that.
Very nice.
Yeah, I've got Kroll.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, his number 1 is Baldur's Gate 3, which is notably absent from both of our lists. I have been playing it. I just did not feel like I'd played enough to put it on my list.
It's on my list under stinkers. I forgot to say it out loud.
That's the end of our podcast.
Dude, listen, I know you've been a little bit disconnected, so you haven't seen it, but I had this bit where somebody from chat, it was Squanky, came in and was talking about, he was just kind of giving me a hard time about Tears of the Kingdom, and I was giving him a bad time about Baldur's Gate 3.
Sure.
And I posted this clip of me just going nuclear on Baldur's Gate 3 and making fun of down by the river, and just
dude,
just really making fun of a bunch of things it doesn't deserve to be made fun of for. You tried to jump and you sprain your knee, and now a bear's gonna suck your tits or whatever the fuck happens in that stupid game. But
every time I load up Baldur's Gate, I sing the down by the river, and I think Allie gets really annoyed by it too.
Understandable. But I basically made a little clip of that, like a minute long thing of me just like tooling on it to kind of rage bait people on the internet.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Let me tell you, it worked. You should see. Nobody has more time to defend Baldur's Gate 3 than the virgin Baldur's Gate 3 fans.
Well, let's be honest. If I clipped what I said about Zelda in this podcast, it would be the exact same thing.
For sure. But we exist to be each other's heels, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Kroll's number 2 is Alan Wake 2. 3 is Resident Evil 4. 5 is Ready or Not. 6 is Lords of the Fallen. 7, System Shock. 8, Remnant 2. 9, Armored Core 6. 10, Rogue Trader. And I don't know if I'm bad at counting or if he just added 11.
Rogue Trader is a Warhammer game, I think.
Yeah, it is. He has Crime Boss, Rocket City. You remember that one? That crazy one with like Nicolas Cage, or not Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't remember names now.
No, it has a bunch of people. It's got like Danny Trejo's in it.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah, there's a couple of games. I want to play that Crime Boss Rocket City game really bad, and I want to play Wanted Dead pretty badly. A couple bad games that are just like, I don't know, probably worth a try. Good picks, good picks.
If you're watching this on like YouTube, leave your top 10 on the comments. I'm very curious. I want to see. You know?
If you're listening to this in a podcast feed, come to YouTube and leave your comments. I feel like that's the best place. Sure. Even if you don't watch the video version, you can still add a comment to it. It's easy enough to find. We're GameList everywhere. I honestly think, I know it's like probably annoying for you to be like, just find it from amazingstreamer.com, but it is a pretty easy way to find the GameList podcast, and it is a quick pitch, but amazingstreamer.com will get you where you need to go. I have a great submission from Andrew on Cards from the community, who gave little blurbs about everything too in the Discord if you want to check that out. But I'll read some of them, especially for the ones that don't pop up on either of our lists. Let me run through those. Number 1 was Tears of the Kingdom, so obviously he knows what he's talking about. His honorable mention is Spider-Man 2 could have cracked the top 10 if it had more MJ missions. That's my type of guy. Number 2, Alan Wake 2. See? Number 3, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. If you sat me down and forced me to pick a best soundtrack for the year, it wouldn't feel right unless I gave it to Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. And that's not even mentioning the ridiculously strong art direction, fun as hell gameplay, and surprisingly engaging story. Really good. That's the Jet Grind Radio-like spiritual successor. Yeah. Really cool. I gotta play that game. That actually maybe should be best game I didn't play this year.
I can't believe you haven't played that.
Yeah, it's actually insane. Number 4, Baldur's Gate 3. Number 5, Ghost Trick Remaster, which is that old DS game or 3DS game. Couldn't bring myself to put a game that didn't technically release this year up higher. Do I care? No. Even for a game that's 13 years old, it's one of the best consistently joy-inducing puzzlers I've ever gotten to play. You should too. Number 6, Hi-Fi Rush. Number 6 is Mosalina. You ever heard of this?
Yeah, I have.
I've never heard of it in my life.
Yeah, it's like an indie game on Steam.
Very good. Slay the Princess. Have you heard of this?
I have. That's on my wish list.
No shit.
It's like a horror visual novel.
Number 9, Phantom Punk, Phantom Liberty, and by Phantom Punk, Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty, and by extension, Cyberpunk 2077, which I think is kind of a fair bundle to like put Cyberpunk 2.0 in there with Phantom Liberty. And then number 10, I really want to read this blurb. El Paso Elsewhere. This is another one that I missed that's right up my alley.
Oh, yeah, I know that one. Is it it's like the Western fighting type game?
Yeah, I think it's no. This is like Max Payne, like it's like a film noir style, dark, gritty detective, drug-induced nightmare. Sure, this has damn good Max Payne style gameplay, but where it really shines is the Max Payne style cutscenes. Completion of the snappy levels rewards you with a pulpy, stylish directed monologue that always kept me itching to see whatever came next. The only thing that outdoes it at its own game is at my number 2 spot, and that's Alan Wake 2. So that's actually a pretty...
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of a different game, actually.
For you. But yeah, it's third-person shooter, bullet time, slow-mo shenanigans.
I have heard of this, though.
Yeah.
Different than what I was thinking of.
Seems really good. You got anybody else for submissions?
No, that's all I got right now. I kind of sent the message to send me their top 10 pretty late. I sent it today, like an hour ago. So
Yeah, same.
you know,
We dropped the ball. You should be following along and commenting, and we'll do a better job of that next year. That's our 2024 resolution for you. But yeah, I think the last thing that we should really do is thank listeners. I am constantly surprised at how many people listen to the show. Our YouTube VODs, they do okay. We spend a lot of time on the YouTube end of things, making B-roll and stuff like that. And I think the videos, if you look at just those, kind of underwhelm. But when you look at our podcast stats and where people listen to us from around, quite frankly, the world, it's really impressive that we have as many listeners as we do. And we appreciate you listening to us ramble on about video games, because truthfully, we would still do this if nobody listened. We need an outlet for it. Yeah. But it's nice that some people do. I'll tell you that much.
Shout out to whoever is listening from Des Moines, Iowa. You are our top listener right now. So
yeah, we appreciate you. Really, really dope shit. Colin, what am I forgetting?
I don't know. Happy New Year's, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you do. We're a little late, but it's the start of a new year, so it's going to be a good year, I think.
Without a doubt. Some more reactions, some more streams on our individual channels. We'll probably put our heads together on some stuff. Resident Evil 6 on your channel. We'll find a reason to get you onto my channel. I'm positive some co-op game will come out that we need to play. This I'm sure of. Obviously, we will continue to recap, I think, more and react to a bunch of stuff as soon as it happens, you know, as a developer direct that is rumored, maybe, or PlayStation State of Play, Nintendo Directs coming in February. Always really fun to do. And then the one thing that I do want to like explore is giving people extra avenues on how they find the show. And we've tossed around this idea a little bit, but you know, you have a nice YouTube channel. I've got a nice YouTube channel. I be doing my Twitch thing all the time. We used to record the shows live, and we don't anymore. I still think that sends a mixed message as far as like how we interact with chat and whatnot. But I do want to experiment with like maybe posting this show in multiple places. Like, I wonder what it would look like if we posted, you know, GameList for January on the GameList YouTube channel, on the Colleen _ YouTube channel, and on the Jake Twitchin YouTube channel, and just let people find it however they want. Does it cannibalize views on the main YouTube channel? Probably, but in the long run, I don't care about growing that YouTube channel. I care about letting more people find GameList however they find it, and then choosing how they want to listen. So that's something that I think I want to just reset my thinking on. It's not about growing necessarily GameList as a platform. It's growing GameList's listener base however you decide to consume it. So yeah, things to look forward to, baby. Colin, thanks, man. Always a pleasure. Another year of recording with you. It's crazy how long we've known each other and how long we've been doing this. Every time I think about the actual time frame on it, it is truly wild. We're entering year 4 of our partnership here.
Oh, we're partners now,
We are, sexually.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, maybe not that far, but yeah.
If you can handle me.
One last thing I would like to, after you've said such kind words, it should be noted, Jake cheated on the GameList fantasy predict this year.
I won.
He did not win fairly. Okay, so next year we're gonna have more clearly defined rules, so he cannot cheat, and I will win, like I should have. But no, it's always fun. It's been a great year. I'm glad. I'm very happy with what we've done. The opinions we have, the way we have learned to articulate things even better over time. I have so much fun doing this, and I really appreciate everyone who watches and listens and says kind words. And even if you say mean words, we get an interaction. So screw you.
You like those too. Those really get me off, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jake, I love this. I love what we've done and what we're going to do. So,
yeah, for sure. Bunch to look forward to. And as always, thanks for
listening.
Got him.